If you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to punch this like and subscribe button and let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the video.
Y'all, man, 2 cents be on point. Shit, she be on point, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Talking.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, today's live stream, we will be discussing
Devin ended Regis, Tank needs or got a new trainer, and PBC going out of business for a decade. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the video. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this Sunday afternoon or evening, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for coming back. Be sure to punch that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and push that subscribe button and subscribe. As we go throughout the live today, be sure to help support the channel by dropping super chats. As we go throughout the week and you watch my content, you can always drop super thanks. I'm live Fridays at 6:30 and Sundays normally from 5 to 7, maybe a little later. May stop a little earlier, depending on how things go with my schedule. But that's typically the schedule I have right now for my live streams. If you want to hit me up at 2 Cents Boxing 2 with information, videos, topics you would like to talk about, you want to co-host on the channel, just hit me up on my email and let me know. I want to thank everybody for joining me. We had a great time on Friday. Listen, my Friday lives be off the chain. Just come and kick it, just to chit chat, just random topics, nothing, strategic about it. We just go on there and chat. People like to hop up and go back and forth. That's kind of like the night people like to come on and kind of debate and go back and forth. Let's see who we got in the building. We got All Things in the building. What's going on? All Things. Cash Crypto. Say 2 cents. What up? What up, Cash Crypto? Mr. Boxing Fanatic says, salute Jay, aka the phenomenal 2 Cents Boxing. Keep grinding, Queen. Appreciate it. Supreme Cam in the building. What's going on, Supreme Cam? Salute 2 Cents Boxing, chat and family. That's Ak Busy. What up, Ak Busy? Teach in the building. What's going on, Teach? Mr. Boxing Fanatic says, salute to the chat as well. Come on in, take your shoes off at the door and smash that like button. Absolutely, absolutely. See who else we got in the building. Got Ariana in the building. She say 2 cents. Hey, girl. What up? What up? What up? What up? So what is up? How y'all doing this Sunday? I just got back in. I had to take my daughter to one of those parties at the trampoline parks. So I had to hurry up and rush back so I can hop on my live. I know I'm a little late today, but I am here nonetheless. So let's get into this. We may circle back because I know, a lot of people like to pull in here later. The longer I'm on, the later people start pulling in. But what did you all think about the Regis Catterall fight last night? What is your 2 cents about the fight? I think I seen Devin Haney hopped on X, formerly known as Twitter, and said, I ended Regis. He ended him. So what do you all think about the fight? And what do you all think about Devin Haney saying he ended Regis? Did he end Regis or did he just catch Regis at the end? Did he end him or did he catch him at the end? Which one do you think it is? I mean, I think he caught him at the end, but that's just my 2 cents. Regis haven't looked good in his last 4 fights, one could say. Regis been looking on a decline in his last 4 fights. But what's even more concerning to me than Regis declining and kind of like losing his last 4 fights? What is up with Eddie Hearn fighter? Like, I'm trying to understand. Is he like, is his stable of fighters, or have they been assigned to just lose? Like, I'm so confused as to why all Eddie Hearn fighters keep losing. Oscar De La Hoya came through with the Clapback Thursdays, and he said Matchroom got a curse. You either gonna lose or you're going to get hurt. What y'all think about that? Because the longer this go on and the more we looking into it, because Eddie Hearn kind of been, I don't want to say he been on the low, but he hasn't really been in America's media or content too much. And this is like the most we've ever seen him, or at least maybe I'm just paying more attention. I don't know. But this is the most I've ever seen him in, the American market like that, the American content, people talking about him, he responding and this and that. So I'm just curious, like, are they like, okay, you need a win, go get you a Matchroom fighter? Because like ever since the attention seems to have been, kind of geared towards Eddie and getting more attention, it seems like all his fighters keep losing. So Regis went in there and lost another fight. Let me see what y'all got to say about it. Ariana say 2 cents. Regis should give it up. Mr. Fine Dining in the building. Okay, Mr. Fine Dining, what's going on? Supreme Cam say he caught him at the end. Yeah, he say Devin caught him at the end. He ain't ended him. Teach say he caught Regis when he was washed.
He was washed already. So, you know, when Devin say stuff like that, I'm like, do y'all think he believe that? Like in his heart, he like, yeah, I retired that nigga. Like, or he just be saying it to be saying it. Or do he know like is it somewhere in his head like we strategically waited and picked this fighter? Like, is there some type of acknowledgement of that, or do he just really be like, nah, I ended that dude? Says no, he didn't. He lost the fight before Devin. Yep. Yep. Okay, just everybody saying what's up. Says Devin and his clan delusional. So you think he really believe he quote unquote ended Regis? He ended him, or he just caught him at the end? And why do you have to say that? Why you can't let like one of your fans come out and be like, "Oh, Devin ended Regis"? Why you have to come on there and I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just saying, like, I ended Regis. Did you really? Mr. Boxing Fanatic say, man, that man didn't retire. Shit. Regis was already on the decline. We got Big Supreme in the building. What's going on, Big Supreme? Shout out Big Supreme in the building. It says, Cash Crypto say, Devin just trying to give his army of DHP belly shirt wearing crash test dummies something to cap about. Okay, Crash Crypto, that's your 2 cents about the situation. Okay. Say, what's the word? 2 cents. Well, I'm just asking Big Supreme, what did you think about that Regis Catterall fight last night? And you seen our Regis look, you seen what the outcome was. Devin Haney hopped on X this morning, formerly known as Twitter, and said, I ended Regis. So I just simply asked the chat a question. Did Devin Haney end Regis, or did he catch Regis at the end? That's it. I just want to know. Did he end him or did he catch him at the end? He says, Peach says Regis lacked a lot of awareness in that fight. He says Regis maxed out whatever ability he had in his career. He overachieved. That's a very good perspective. That's a very good perspective, Jonathan Simon. And I would say that that's very true. And you can't fault him. He had his career. He did what he did. He got far with what he had. He started getting older. How old is he? What, 37, 38? How old is Regis? He's older. He's on the tail end of his career. He's on the decline. I mean, his time was up. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Regis. He did what he did. Big Supreme said it happened just as I predicted. Big Supreme. Okay, gang. Catterall beat the shit out of Regis. Okay. He said he beat the shit out of Regis. 36. So Regis 36. So, I mean, Regis 36 on the tail end of his career. According to Jonathan Simon, he had already went far and beyond levels that he thought he could have went because of his skill level. And now it's just the end of it. He hopped over there with Eddie Hearn, got him a deal, got him some bread, and went moving. Oh, and I wonder when people signed up with Eddie Hearn, like I could just imagine them sitting at a table, right, sitting across from each other, and Eddie smiling. Then he slide the contract over to the fighter, and then the fighter sign it and slide it back, and then Eddie Hearn just start laughing, and then he look at him with that accent, and he tell him, "You know you fucked up, bruv, because you signed with Eddie, you about to get your ass kicked." Just to give my 2 cents. I'm really curious to see what happens with Shakur Stevenson and Bussines over there with Eddie Hearn. I'm watching it close. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Cash Crypto say Supreme picks hit again. So he 35, about to be 36 in January. Says also Regis' feet was always trash, and his ring IQ was subpar. That's the same thing Jonathan Simon was saying. Says Regis was never really elite. He was a good brawler, but his boxing skills always been below average. I mean, it is what it is. You got boxers, you got brawlers, you got knockout artists, you got all kind of different styles in boxing. And though some people just take that style and they work for them till it don't. You feel what I'm saying? Work for them till it don't. And only the true of the elite are able to overcome majority of those styles and they be champions. That's really what it is. So I need to edit my title. Well, no, I'm not gonna edit it because it says Tank needs new trainer. So I was gonna drop my 2 cents about that real quick. So I come across another rumor that Tank Davis has now left Calvin and Kenny, or is it just Calvin? I'm not sure exactly word for word what the rumor was, but now he's left his trainer. So his fight is canceled. The company that he fights for don't have money to pay him. And he's fired his trainer. He needs a new trainer. I mean, Tank Davis' career sounds miserable, doesn't it? Don't his career sound miserable? Like, man, I don't know how this man's still boxing with all the things y'all saying he going through. His shit, he might as well just retire. But we all know I don't think there's any truth in Gervonta Tank Davis leaving his trainers. And I mean, I'm just like, just add this to the things. What's this, phase 4? He leaves his trainer. Like, it's phases. They start the Tank cap in phases when he got a fight coming up. Phase 1, he won't fight this person, he won't do this, he won't do that. Then they pick somebody to fight. And even if it was somebody that they said he wasn't gonna fight, they shit on the fight, they talk bad about the fighter or prospect. He ain't done this when he's a champion in the weight class, blah, blah, blah. Boom, we get past that. Phase 3, PBC ain't got no money, can't nobody afford to pay him. Amazon and PBC not doing good. They don't want to pay him. They losing the money. Phase 4. Now he leaving his trainer. Now he leaving Calvin. He fired him. He want a new trainer. So I want y'all to just pay attention and see if they do the same thing next time Tank Davis has a fight. Tank Davis has came out and said that all those rumors were cap. The going to Benavidez card, the fight in January. He said cap. I mean, that's all he said. He didn't elaborate. Melvin Air podcast in the building. What's going on? He didn't elaborate on that. So all I know is he said cap. So I'm just going to assume that means that all of that stuff is cap. Ariana says all lies, 2 cents. Best YouTube talking. Can't believe what you hear. Oh, of course. But you got to address it because 1, I mean, it's good for content, and 2, some people like believe these things and they really believe it, like, and they don't realize, like, because if you don't like consciously pay attention, you wouldn't realize over and over every fight this is what they do, like it's a pattern because it's so far in between. So you just kind of forget about it. Once the fight happened, you forget about it. But I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring up how y'all was saying he don't fight no slick black fighters and he wouldn't fight Frank Martin, and when he fought Frank Martin, y'all completely flipped. I'm gonna bring that up because it's the same pattern. I'm gonna bring up how Floyd Mayweather was posting last fight that his fight was canceled, and then now y'all running the same play saying this fight is canceled. I'm gonna bring that up because you gotta understand that this is a cycle. This is like, I don't know why they do this. Melvin Air podcast in the building. He say, man, ninjas say anything. Tank ain't leaving Calvin. Phase 5, the fight did bad. Yep, that's it. And then after the fight, it only did 60,000 pay-per-view buys. It was only 200 people at the fight. I mean, it's the same thing every time, y'all. So Mr. Greg in the building. What's going on, Mr. Greg? Mr. Greg says, good evening, 2 cents boxing, all things teach, Ariana Cash Crypto, Big Supreme, and all the cat. How is everyone this evening? And all the chat. Hold on a second, y'all. All right. So says they offer him only $3 million to fight Lamont and he didn't want to take it. I mean, I already gave my 2 cents about that on Friday, but if you weren't here, I just was like, they already under a contract with Tank, so I'm pretty sure whatever his contract, he's already guaranteed certain things, so I don't really think you can change that. So I don't really know how true that is, but hey, to each his own. I miss no sources. I ain't got no sources about that, so I don't know. Says Tank said his deal is bigger than the one Floyd had. People should just stop making up dumb narratives that aren't even believable. They believable to some people, for sure. Shakur is their last lifeline before they run out of narratives. Oh no, they're gonna keep the narratives coming. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. So PBC going out of business. What's y'all 2 cents about that? How y'all think about that? I remember back in the day when I first really got into boxing like that. I used to always keep hearing PBC going out of business. I'm talking about always. I'm like, damn, why are they saying they going out of business? Like, what makes them think that? Here we come, a decade later. Guess what, y'all? PBC still going out of business. They've been going out of business for a decade. Damn near over a decade. I don't understand why people are obsessed with PBC going out of business. Can somebody kind of explain that to me? I mean, it's every fight, every big fight PBC have, you get these rumors about them going out of business and they can't pay the fighters. Why? Why? Do y'all know that Top Rank's deal is up with ESPN at the end of the year? And I don't hear nobody or see not one video or nobody saying Bob Arum put ESPN out of business and ESPN don't want to do work with Bob Arum no more. Their contract is just up. And they got to figure out something different to do. But I don't hear people making videos about it, talking about how bad of a job Bob Arum did and how they're going out of business. Every single thing that every other promotional company does when it happens with PBC is because they're going out of business. Have y'all never heard of other promotional companies rescheduling a fight? Have y'all never heard of promotional companies rescheduling a fight? But if the PBC reschedules a fight, it's because they don't have the money to pay the fighters, or they going out of business, or Amazon don't want to work with them no more because they losing them money. When it's other people that postpone and reschedule fights all the time, and nobody says this type of stuff. I just don't understand it. That's all I'm saying. When and I say this all the time when we kind of go through this, that when something happens with the PBC, when something adjustment or change needs to be made or something like that, people turn it out to them going out of business. Them can't afford to pay nobody. Now I'm hearing the FBI investigating them. If the FBI is investigating PBC for the back end money, and the fighters may owe taxes on money that they never received from the PBC. Now that's pretty deep, ain't it? That's some serious allegations. That's real deep. But I've been going on and on here for about almost 30 minutes. I'm about to drop the link in a few. But those are the things that I kind of wanted to get off my chest and get my 2 cents about. Is I don't understand why PBC is always going out of business when they have regular things happen in their business that every other promotional company have happen in their business. And I don't understand why now, after all of this time, they're being investigated allegedly. But I don't know if they were dealing with a situation with tax evasion, or something they were doing with the back end money. Would they be investigated by the FBI or would they be investigated by the IRS? What y'all think? But I'm gonna keep my ear to the street, keep my eye on the story. It may be completely false. It may be some truth to it. You never know. So it's just they don't do it to nobody else. That's my only thing, which makes it kind of hard to even take it serious because why wasn't they about to get investigated by the IRS before they announced this fight December 14th? Why you ain't been came out and said nothing about that if that was the case? It's always when they got a fight coming up where they want to try to discredit. But let me drop this link. Y'all come up here and give me your 2 cents about the topics we're talking about tonight. Did Devin end Regis program? Or did Devin just catch Regis at the end? And let me pin to the top of the chat. I may have to get off here like 5-10 minutes early today. Let me see what y'all saying in the comment section. Hold on. We got Paid in Full in the building. What's going on, Paid?
What's going on, 2 cents? Can you hear me? You can hear me?
What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show? We got Big Supreme in the building. What's going on, Big Supreme?
What's up, 2 cents? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't hear Paid in Full though. Hey, we can't hear you. What up, Big Supreme? What you got for the show?
I don't know where to start. Like, where you think I should start at?
Whatever you want to start on.
So for me, I thought that Catterall was gonna probably stop Regis.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna touch on the situation with Tank. All that $3 million shit, all that shit was a lie.
Oh wait, hold on. Big Supreme had already started because we couldn't hear
go
you.
ahead, my bad.
Go ahead, Big Supreme.
All I was gonna say is I thought that Catterall was gonna stop Regis, and he almost did. The only problem I have with Catterall, because he did this to me like 3 times already. He did it in the Lawrence fight. A dude he fought before that. He did it with Taylor. Now with Regis, like, it's weird. Like, he'll score a knockdown or get somebody really hurt when they ready to go, and he'll just back up and let off the gas. Like, he's like a very safety first fighter. And mind you, it goes back to what I be saying about the double standards and the hypocrisy, right? Nobody calls Catterall boring or he's scared to fight or engage. This dude has people hurt and then goes on the defensive. It's very weird. But he did do what I predicted. I felt like he was going to really hurt Regis, and he did. I don't want to say he concussed Regis, but after the 2 knockdowns, Regis started running around like a bird, and he fell into the side of the ring. But I think that it's cap that he's saying that, or Haney's saying that he ruined Regis. I just feel like Regis had a lot of flaws that Haney was able to exploit at the right time. There's a real fight.
Right.
It's basically like the blueprint on how to fight Regis. But if you look at all his other fights, Regis looked the same way. The same with Zepeda, same with Taylor, same with Ivan Redkach. He fought the same exact way. The difference is he was a little bit younger,
Yeah.
had a little more athleticism, and was a little bit more fluid. Now he's got a little older. A lot of his falls are very glaring now. So he was on a way out anyway. I feel like if anybody would have caught him at that time, whether it was T.O. or even like someone like Ryo, I think they would have did the same thing to Regis, honestly. And that's all I got on that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, go ahead, Paid in Full. What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
All right, yeah, I was gonna just say, with the situation dealing with Tank, it had nothing to do with the 3 million. It had nothing to do with money at all. It was always a venue issue, which that's what Dan Raphael had reported. But we had people pushing narratives and stuff like that. So the issue was with the paperwork. I think they never had it finalized or something like that. That's why we never received the first press conference or an official announcement from PBC. So, and also what they were trying to do was, I guess they were trying to hurry up and get that paperwork and stuff finished and finalized before the 14th. If not, then they were going to push the fight back a couple weeks or whatever, and just have it at the beginning of the year in January. But they were gonna. I think the network was trying to move the fight uh from Houston and to put it in DC, which I think was smart from a basic from a money perspective. I think that would have been a smart idea to do. Uh, but yeah, all that other shit that they was coming up with, bro, that's just bullshit, man. Like they pushing narratives, and I've always felt like that made more sense than oh they're going broke and they don't got enough money to pay Tank, and Tank ain't gonna take 3 million to fight. Like all that was just BS, bro.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody else, and they were talking about Steven Espinoza and showing a clip where he was just like, he think 25 will be better. How Amazon is getting a little bit more familiarized and comfortable with the scheduling,
Yeah,
and they kind of took that as they it was something going on where they wasn't completely they kind of, to me, what I got is they were saying like Amazon is not as trusting or willing to come forward and do things. But I'm like, if you understand what he was really saying, he was saying that they're learning and figuring out the scheduling, because
right,
they're a streaming platform. They don't necessarily have to try to figure out a day to do something. You get what
right,
I'm saying? So you got
right, yeah,
like trying to figure out the scheduling of dropping these events, matching it with the venues, and the making sure it's the same day as the same day you could schedule it. And I could see how that would be something that somebody's new to these type of things have to kind of figure out,
right,
because it's not the same as like a football or a basketball where you can just be like, okay, you can already have the places and the game days and all of that stuff just mapped out way in advance. You can't necessarily
right,
do it like that because of all the moving parts in boxing. So that's how I
absolutely,
took it. Like, okay, so since they're getting better with the scheduling and figuring out how to go, they'll be able to schedule more events next year, because you can't just schedule big events when the network you're working with not even ready or don't know how to do everything or whatever the case may be, or whatever it is they got to figure out.
right.
So that's what I was saying about that. But they want to take every single thing into a negative and make it seem like,
It,
oh, that means Amazon, they was too skeptical, or oh, they going out of business, they had to
All right, so
reschedule something.
this is
and
my
that's
thing,
sad.
right?
Go
Um,
ahead.
so when you look at, all right, for example, you look at Turkey, right? Turkey's been in boxing for like 12 months probably. He's been able to get Queensberry, Matchroom, Top Rank, Golden Boy, Boxer, all these different promotional companies under the same banner. The only company he hasn't been able to acquire is PBC, even like MMA and Dana White. So my thing is, it makes perfect sense for them to like attack PBC and attack Tank and attack Canelo, because they're the only one that hasn't bent the knee, basically. And I feel like a lot of these content creators and even people that come on the panel, they act disingenuous and act like they don't know what's going on. Like, for example, right? We already know Mikey Garcia. He sued Bob Arum. Mikey Garcia, Nonito Donaire, Pacquiao, Crawford, Mayweather, Oscar,
Everybody.
Teofimo. All these different people have had problems with Bob Arum. Like I said before, he got suspended and fined by the Nevada Athletic Commission. He got investigated by the feds for bribery and fixing fights. They raided his offices. So my thing is like, are we surprised really? I'm not surprised that a lot of these content creators are doing that, because I feel like they're being paid off. Some people actually do have a hatred for Tank, which is very weird. But I feel
Okay,
like the
hold on. Speaking of paid off,
Mhm.
make sure y'all help support the channel, monetarily support the channel through the Cash App at 2 cents boxing, or you can always drop a super chat. I have reached my first level of monetization,
Yeah, you got the super
and
chat. I'm gonna be
we want to keep our integrity over here, but you got to support the channel, guys. We
That's a
got to
fact.
come together. We got to make sure we support the channel.
Mhm.
So I'm not doing none of that. Listen, everything over here is my genuine opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying you right. I'm not saying you wrong. But all the information you hear over here will be
a genuine opinion based off of the facts that I've seen and stuff I've heard throughout the YouTube streets. I will not be over here trying to spin no narratives and intentionally mislead my audience. I'm not going
And
to
that's
do that.
that's what I respect. That's what I respect because a lot of people like they can know something is a blatant lie, and like I'm just trying to understand what would a person gain by doing that when your integrity is coming into question behind shit like that. Like that ain't cool. Like whether I like a fighter or not, bro, I'm not gonna just go out here and just blatantly lie on a fighter or lie on a promotional
You know what's
company.
crazy that I noticed? I don't want to. I'm not gonna say the person's name, but they did something earlier today. They went live or whatever, and then I guess they must have been talking about Blue Blood or something like that. And they was like, "Oh, y'all shouldn't be mad at Blue Blood. He just got his own lane. He's trying to provide for his family." And I'm like, "Yo, bro, like this man hates on Tank all day. He spreads all kind of
Yeah,
lies and all kind of narratives." And I'm like, "You okay with that? Like that's I thought that was very weird to me. Like, it's not a
it
situation where
is.
it's a guy that he got his own lane. Like Fanon got his own lane, right? So he's gonna make money and he's gonna do his thing. You don't really got to do too much. Like these other dudes, their whole niche is hating on Tank. It's not like they have their own lane. They just hate on Tank, prop up Haney or whoever else that comes around, and that's their whole thing. So my thing is like, I can't support that. I can't respect it.
Yeah, that shit is corny, bro. Like that shit is corny, bro. Like when and that's why like I try not to bring up that name, but it just like that shit just horrible, bro. Like I don't understand it, man. Like if you don't like a fighter, just don't talk about the nigga. But you
I
can't
think
stop
I think
talking
he's
about
getting
him.
paid. I think he's getting
Hold on,
paid
let
to
me
do
get
that.
this super chat. Alan So Stan with the $4.99 in the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you for your support. So, what else you had? Big Supreme. You said you ain't know where to start, but what else you got? We got the Devin and Regis. You saying that Regis was already at the end when he fought Devin?
Yeah. I feel like Haney was supposed to be the golden child, man. That's what I think, bro. I think that it's weird because they're not even going at Ryan. They going at Ryan crazy, but like not none of the channels though. I just feel like to me, I feel like there's like a racial component to the hate towards Tank and
Well, you got to
Al
think
Haney.
about these channels and their market, though, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you can go and make stuff about Ryan, but I mean, who gonna keep watching it every day about you complaining about Ryan? We are,
Because it's not
and
really
it's because
exciting.
nobody really takes Ryan. It's hard. Nobody really takes Ryan serious. You get what I'm saying? So it's
I think it's
like,
because Ryan's not black. If Ryan was black, he'll be crucified and dragged through the mud. All the stuff I've been seeing him do, I feel like the fact that he's like a white looking Hispanic, I feel like it gets brushed to the side. A lot of the stuff. Like the stuff that, like for example, right? Tank had the situation with his wife where he got arrested and they was outside his mansion and all of that. That got published like a year later. Like somebody re-uploaded it, like like a throwback. Like that's what we doing. We thought we putting up throwbacks of people getting arrested
yeah, but
now.
it's like,
Yep.
who would do that? Like, it's not like, that's who would
I
do
feel like
that. It
that
wasn't
shit
like
is
it wasn't like a
strategically
whole
being
bunch
done.
of channels doing that shit. Type shit.
I feel like it's strategically being done. Like
Yeah, it's strategically being done for sure.
a lot of these people are being paid, but another thing I was gonna talk with like I said with Regis, I kind of always felt like he was like a Cambosis to me in his latter years or whatever. Like I kind of felt like he tried to kind of dwindle down because he was like already on the decline. But they gave him the gifted win against Zepeda, which I kind of thought he lost. But I feel like any pure boxer can beat Regis just because he's like more so a brawler, and he's not
Right.
like he doesn't gauge distance, and he's not aware like I don't know like it was like last night was just sloppy and terrible. Like he didn't know how to close the distance.
Like, don't he fight like he don't got no trainer?
Yeah, like that's how he fight. Like I don't know what they be talking about when they be seeing him in the
He's
gym and
he's
stuff.
trained by that Asian kid. I don't know his name though.
Yeah,
What's the guy's
yup,
name?
that's true. But it's like his feet are like how do you be in the ring and
Terrible.
you tripping over your feet? Like
Terrible. It makes me think that Regis probably was on something.
Man,
Oh wow, here you
It
go,
makes me
Big
think like he
Supreme.
was on
Here you
something,
go,
and
Big
then now
Supreme.
he's
Here
not
you
using
go.
it no more. He's starting to look regular. That's what I'm
yeah,
starting to think.
because when I
Cause like
saw him
how
against
he looked
Josh
last night
Taylor,
was crazy.
yeah, when he fought against Josh Taylor, it looked a little bit more crisp and like not last night. Just like bro, he just over there. I
His
think
feet
it's
always look like trash, y'all.
yeah, it do.
Yeah, but not like that though.
Not like how not like how
Not
he
like
looked
that.
last night.
He's looking.
All
He's
right,
looking
we got
terrible.
Mr. Greg with the $5 holla. He says you are right for giving all opinions equal time. Stand always in the light of integrity. We applaud you for that. Shout out to Mr. Quarterbone for the $5 holla in the super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So you
Yeah, but
saying
that's what I think, man. Like I don't want to,
It,
start on his panel, but like that's what I be thinking sometimes when dudes look crazy. Like he went from being like the narrative around Regis was like he was being avoided. He was the dark horse at 140.
right.
He was the boogeyman, and now two fights later, it's like he's a laughing stock of boxing right now. He's
Yeah, he
getting
looked
pinged on
regular.
Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm like, anytime that happens to me, I always think like, damn, this dude probably was on something for that fight, man. That's what I be
And,
thinking. Like when a dude knocks
and
somebody out cold and look dangerous, and the next fight they go like the whole 12 with a dude that got knocked out 6 times, and like, oh, what's up?
mind
That's what
you,
I think.
also, mind you, also that I kind of already thought, I kind of knew they felt like they were going for Regis because they knew he was food. Because before he even chose the Regis fight, Devin was trying to go after T.O.'s vacant belt. I think it's the WBO, right? And after that situation, when T.O. said that he unretired, that's when Devin went in a whole totally different direction because he was gonna try to fight some guy. I don't know who he was, but he's trying to fight some guy for that vacant belt. Then after that, when T.O. said that he's unretired, he said you're gonna have to come fight me to get this belt. Devin went after Regis because he knew they knew he was the weakest link at 140 outside of Broly.
I would have liked to see him fight Rolly. That would have been a good fight, but it is what it is though. He beat Regis. I don't think he ended him though. I think Regis was already on his way out.
And then he say something like, didn't he say that Regis ain't got no chin on Twitter? Did he
Is that
say
what he
something
said?
like that?
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
I'm finna say like, bro, don't act like we didn't just see you get your jaw rearranged by Ryan. Like, don't we ain't gonna do that. And by Jorge Linares. Like, I wouldn't be talking about chins if I was you. But like I
But
said, I
some people believe that if you get hit and then you get knocked down and get up, that means you got a good chin.
that's what I mean. That was more so a flash knockdown because obviously them the punches that you don't see. But with I just think that I just felt like I agree with you on that part too, Sin. When you said that you don't feel like he should have brought that up. I think it should have been one of his fans that said something about that. Like I don't think he should have came out talking about you retired somebody, especially when
Yeah.
you saw the motherfucker.
But I don't know. I mean, hopefully we see Devin back in the ring. He doing a lot of talking, so I would love to see him get back in the ring. I thought he would definitely be back in the ring before the year ended, but it don't look like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's probably a wrap for that.
So what you think about this PBC going out of business and
Man, we've been hearing that. That's my thing. We've been hearing that shit for years. But my thing is this, like I said, I think it was on your last live stream. If PBC was going out of business and they was so bad for business, why they keep getting deals with these big networks? Like we gotta
you
make
know?
if you bad for business, bro, I don't think no big network would want to even take a chance on you. Like I said, it's just more so the shit on Al Heyman, bro. Like in the business that he been doing. Because, like I said, he started with music and came into boxing and took over boxing. So, yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I never believe it, and it seems to come from the same people, and it's like this person tell you this every time, and they never right. Like, how do y'all keep believing?
And they keep saying it. Like even after you got after it been debunked, like why are we still talking about that? Like
Every
I don't
time.
get it. I don't get it.
Now, Now look, Mr. Box Fanatic, the whole time they with Amazon. Oh, they Amazon not happy. They losing money. They not doing good numbers. We gonna hear that the whole time they win.
Yup, yup. And that's sad, bro. Like it's like, damn, bro. Like I don't understand it, man. Like I really don't understand it. Like I don't get it, bro. Like I just don't get it, cause like my integrity wouldn't let me just do that. Like if I
Like
know
how you
something
wake
ain't
up and
right,
just make it up. Like how you wake up like
yeah,
you just be like, let me say they going out of business today.
yeah, like, and you know this shit ain't even true, but yeah, you want to keep pushing that same narrative. I don't
So
get it.
who is fighting next weekend? Do you know?
I think it's in Keyshawn or he fight the 10th.
Damn, I can't think of who fighting next weekend, but
Just waiting on the 14th to see what's up with this fight.
I'm trying to get my tickets. I honestly hope they don't move the fight. To be real with you, because I want to go.
Oh, you talking about for to Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. I if they move it to DC, then I'm gonna go. Just cause I'm over like kind of by that area. But yeah, I hope they. I just want to see them back in the ring, cause like I said, it ain't good for boxing for like the big money makers to be sitting on the shelf or having to wait for fights. Like that's not beneficial to boxing. Whether it was Tank or anybody in that situation.
Yep. Yep. Everybody want to see the big fights at least every 6 months,
Right.
twice a year. You know what I'm saying? Once a
I
year.
just want.
So,
I really want to see what. I really want to see what happens with Shakur with damn, what is his name? Um, Eddie Hearn. Yeah, I just want to see how his opening debut be with Eddie Hearn. I want to see that. Like,
what you think about the Matchroom curse?
I think it's real because it's like messing with Turkey, bro. Like he putting fights together that's like not good matchmaking. It's like you just throwing fighters in there. Like there's no reason why. There's no reason why. Big baby Jerry Anderson should have even been in the ring with that big dude. Like bro, like he's still in the building phase. So it's not like you put him in there with a 200 and damn near close to 300-pound fighter. Like bro, of course he ain't
But
gonna
some
man.
some people is like it's good he stepped up and took on that challenge, and this is what we want to see more of. We want to see fighters getting in there with people they can lose against and all that. So
You know, is there that fine line of like between like good matchmaking or just putting two people together the fans quote unquote say they want to see?
Yeah,
Like, is that gonna be sustainable?
that's what I yeah that's what I was more so getting at. Like I don't feel like that idea and that logic gonna be sustainable. Cause like, are they already pulling? Are they already pulling like all the fights out of the United States, or is it supposed to come
well,
to that?
well, allegedly that's what Bob said, but then Turkey came out and said that was cap. So nobody knows the
Gotcha,
truth as usual. But
gotcha.
well, he didn't really come out and say it was cap. He kind of came out, and him and Eddie Hearn just kind of came out and like, how you know what we doing? But they never
Yeah,
was
Right,
like, oh, that's what we doing. We
right,
not doing that. We gonna stay in the U.S. So they
gotcha.
yeah, but
not they neither confirmed nor denied. So we don't know.
yeah, I agree with what Pay was saying as far as like the matchmaking. I don't think Jared Anderson, like I knew Jared Anderson was gonna get knocked out. Like I had back and forth with people in the chat.
But
Oh,
let me point this out real quick, not to cut you off, Big Supreme. What did they say when Jerry Anderson got knocked out? Oh, he stepped it up. He this and this and that. What did they say
when
when
Tim Tszyu
Tim
got
Zoo
knocked out.
just got beat? Oh, it's
All
bad
right, so see,
matchmaking. It was
this
bad
goes back to
matchmaking.
my point, right? So now boxing was built on racism, so like
Yeah, yeah,
it's been like that for the last 150 years. So now Tim Tszyu, it's just bad matchmaking. He was too tough for his own good. It's the PBC's fault. But when Jared Anderson does it, he finally stepped up after too many soft touches and he just got exposed basically. So like I felt like they just want to see the black fighters lose really. When it's a Tim Tszyu or anybody else that's come up with excuses. Tim Tszyu lost, excuses. When Ryan got beat by Tank, excuses. He was drained. he was tired, all this other stuff that he had the rehydration clause. There's always some kind of excuse when a black fighter beats or a non-black or Hispanic fighter. And I
So let
feel
me
like
shout out all the new people in the chat. Green Villain Mike, Lee Jackson, Jonathan Simon. I don't know if I already said what's up to you. Mark Q in the building. Skills from New Orleans. What's going on? Skills Crucial Content. Shell in the building. Shout out to all of those people in the building. Link is pinned at the top of the chat if you would like to come up and give your 2 cents. But yeah, Big Supreme.
Hey, that was another thing. I think it was Jonathan Simon. It's not necessarily Bob's fault because he didn't want that fight. But you got to understand, Turkey deal directly with the fighter, so he's pretty much going around the promoter. So he didn't really
Hold
want
on.
that fight.
Keep talking, Mr. Fox Fanatic.
Yeah, he just really didn't want that fight for Jared because he felt like he wasn't ready.
he wasn't ready, bro.
Yeah. I kind of felt that too. Like, there's no way in hell he should have been in the ring
You
with
know
him,
why
bro.
it's bad matchmaking? All right, so there's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's like double speak, meaning like when they mean my bad matchmaking is, why would you have Tim Tszyu lose against a relatively unknown, obscure Russian fighter that's never been on a world stage versus
Right.
having Tim Tszyu fight Virgil Ortiz on the Saudi card with more exposure? I think that's what they really mean to say. I don't think they mean to say like, oh well, this person was too dangerous, so Tim Tszyu should never fought him. I don't think it's that. I just feel like they feel like someone of Tim Tszyu's caliber should be fighting a Terrence Crawford, should be fighting a Virgil Ortiz or a Boots or somebody like that, Earl Spence, not getting demolished by someone that we didn't know. Well, I knew who he was, but the vast majority of people didn't know who Mirzaliev was.
Yeah.
Everybody was betting on Tim Tszyu for the stoppage, and I'm like, the odds look crazy. They had him
Right.
for plus 1100 for the knockout. I said, yo, this dude could punch. There's no way. And
Right.
I've seen him get dropped by Terrell Goucher. He got dropped by Wade Ryan. I've seen him struggle with people that's nothing like this dude. He's never fought somebody like that. Someone with a 75-inch arm reach, fast hands, power, good feet, and the dude is a dog. So I think that's what they mean, but it's the way they say it though. They shouldn't say it like, well, it was bad matchmaking and PBC strikes again. That's not what it is. What it is y'all just mad that Tim Tszyu didn't get beat by somebody like Virgil Ortiz. They wanted Virgil Ortiz to have that win on his resume.
So they mad that nobody else from one of their stables got that
Basically,
win.
that's why they mad. Because remember, he pulled out of the Virgil Ortiz fight originally. So that's really why they mad. They're like, why would you have him pull out of the
NHA,
Virgil
where
Ortiz?
you go? Go ahead.
Why would you have him pull out of a Virgil Ortiz fight on a Saudi card to fight Mirzaliev for free TV? That's basically what they're trying to say, but they're trying to be slick and try to undermine the PBC. Now, there is some truth to it, a little bit, but at the same time, it still was a title shot. This dude been in the background for a while now. So I feel like Tim Tszyu was great for his resume. Now he could go on and do bigger things himself. And that's
Shout
not
out
even
to
PBC's
NHA
fault.
Tube that just joined the panel.
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's up, NHA? NHA, you there?
I'm on fire. I was muted. Yeah, what's the word?
What up? What up? So I see what you're saying, Big
Chilling, chilling.
Supreme. I see what you're
That's
saying.
basically what they. Because I ain't gonna lie, my man Tay, right? I don't know if he's in the chat. I don't know if he came through, but Tay kind of young. He's like 18. Me and him always going back and forth. And I told him, I said, Virgil Ortiz is gonna stop Tim Tszyu. He's like, nah, we get better 150. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Tim Tszyu, if you look at his record, he's never fought no big punches like that. Same thing with Haney. Haney hasn't fought no one punch knockout concussive power kind of a boxer like a Ryan. This dude Tim Tszyu, he fought Tony Harrison. He got some pop, but he's not really a power puncher like that.
He got a lot of names on his resume, but he definitely fought them at the right time.
At the right time. A lot of these dudes is over the hill, 35, 36. They're not punching like that. He's never fought someone that's relatively young in their prime that he has no advantages over. This dude had the reach advantage, the height advantage, the power advantage, the hand speed. I knew he was going to get knocked out.
It sound like they fed Timmy.
I think they did, because you got to remember, right? Not to be funny, right? Now, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm pro PBC because Al Heyman is a black man, and I like how they're giving these young dudes the opportunity to make millions of dollars. But I noticed when you do something funny, they feed you to the wolves, just like Broner said. They make you fight Godzilla. If you look at Gary Antoine, right? In my opinion, I think he beat Puelo. I think Puelo did enough to maybe eke 5 rounds, but you gotta think, right? You can't give Beterbiev the fight over Bivol for being an effective aggressor, the ring general, landing clean punches, and then not do the same for Gary Antoine when he did the same thing to Puelo. He was the one pressing action. He was the one moving forward. He was the one. Only thing he didn't do too well was cut off the ring. But my opinion, him losing a split decision could be attributed to Gary entertaining Eddie Hearns. I don't know if y'all remember. He was at the press conference for Ryan versus Haney. He said, "Yo, I'm having talks and stuff like that." And I guess somebody must have gotten his ear and said, "Look, I'm gonna stay with PBC and this, that, and the third." I feel like the matchmakers or whoever's over there, they didn't like that. That's my opinion. So they said, "Look, we're gonna give Puelo the win." That's what I think. Tim Tszyu did the same thing. He was negotiating with Turkey, went over there, then he backed out. They're like, "All right, bet we're gonna feed him to Murzalia." Now, of course, this is substantiated. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact.
But I mean, why would they feed him if he didn't go through with it?
Same thing with Gary. Gary didn't sign over the match room, but he's sitting there having talks with them. Same thing. Same
But what about didn't Ryo just fight Cruz on a VI season?
But
That
look,
was the case,
Ryo just
man.
left Benavidez though.
The play, I get you, but if what you're saying is that would play out, don't you think the play would have been for Cruz to get the win?
No, it depends on how they going about doing it. Is what he said.
Nah, because I feel like this is my thing, right? Use your logic, NHA, because I see where you're going. But what Ryo was supposed to do, I feel like they fed Pitbull to Ryo. I feel like they had a game plan. Ryo was going to beat Pitbull, look good, look spectacular like he did. Then he was supposed to fight Tank. Him pulling out the fight and backing out and leaving Benavidez, my fault for the background.
Hayden Fool, if you in the back, it say you need to connect your microphone, or else I can't let you up.
So I feel like the play was Ryo to beat Pitbull and then to fight Tank. He pulled out, didn't want to do it for whatever reason, and left Benavidez. I don't know where he's going to sign, but my hunch is he's going to sign to either Eddie Hearns or Top Rank. That's what I think.
Who?
So, Ryo, I think he's going to sign to Hearns or he's going to sign to Top Rank.
So wait,
I believe so.
He left PBC to go to Hearns.
No, he left Benavidez, the father. He was the trainer, the manager, all that. He went. I guess he's going to Robert Garcia.
Why you think he gonna leave PBC though?
I don't know. Maybe Turkey got in his ear. He got that belt. Maybe they want him to unify with Paro. Maybe they want him to unify with Fimo. Who knows? They all.
But you can't just when you win them belts and stuff, you sign extensions and stuff. You can't just win the belt and they finna let you leave. That ain't how that be working.
Who knows? He left and he said he had his lawyers contact them. Maybe we don't know.
He just left his manager. He didn't leave the promotional company, right?
It's possible. I don't know, man. I know Robert Garcia got in his ear. We're going to wait to see, basically. He said he got big news. He got a big announcement. And if he does announce that he's leaving, then my hunch was correct. If not, I eat my crow. But that's what I suspected. Because why would you leave Benavidez and he's the one that built you up to be the champion? You understand? Like, why that fight?
I honestly think that the plan. I mean, not necessarily the plan. I think the PBC was banking on Cruz beating Ryo, and then we get a Tank Cruz part 2. That's the more viable fight.
I don't think so.
That's the more in-demand fight.
I don't think so.
The reason why I don't think so.
Most people. Let's be honest. Most people are picking Cruz.
Look, no. Listen, the smart bettors pick Ryo. Once I seen that snack on his shorts, I bet on him for decision. Because I know Pitbull don't care if you want snack, you want Angelone, you're not knocking Pitbull out. It's quiet. So he's gonna win by decision.
Yeah. You make that same bet when he fought Del Santos?
Who? Ryo?
Ryo.
I knew Del Santos was gonna knock him out, bro. I'm trying.
Hold on. The snack power didn't help him?
He wasn't on snack then, bro. Do your research.
What you mean?
He wasn't on snack when he fought Santos, bro.
He was on snack? When did he get on snack?
Wasn't, bro.
When he got in a new camp.
He been with snack.
After he lost to
he been with snack.
Robert Garcia. That's false.
He been with snack.
He was not on
Robert
snack,
Garcia been affiliated with snack.
You can Google it,
Oh,
bro. He was not on snack for the Santos fight, bro. He was not, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Once he
okay.
got knocked out by De Los Santos, he added Robert Garcia and got a different team, bro. I'm telling you. I'm 100% that's what happened.
Okay, okay.
So my thing is same thing with
Shout out to Brandon House.
I definitely get a lot of things wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's predictions I get wrong. But like when Santos fought Shakur, I was getting clown. Oh, you don't know nothing about boxing. People saying that Shakur was gonna stop him. Like, yo, bro, this dude could punch. He's gonna make. My prediction was this: either he was gonna get lucky and stop Shakur, or he was gonna have Shakur running. And I was right. The dude was running the whole fight, didn't want to engage because he felt the power. So my thing is this, right? A lot of times the betting odds, it don't be making sense, bro. Anytime the betting odds don't make sense to me, and I look at the fighter, I usually tend to like side with that fighter. Like, for example, you look at Bachman. This dude has one punch knockout power. Why is his knockout damn near 5,000? It was almost 3,500. If you would have put Bachman to get the stoppage in the third round, you'd have won $15,000 off $100, bro. That doesn't make sense. This
Wow.
dude is a
Did you
big
get it?
puncher.
Did you hit it?
No,
I
I didn't
never.
get it.
I
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't. I
I,
didn't get a
I
chance to.
yeah. I ended up losing.
I told everybody to bet on Bachman. They said, "Nah, you bugging. He's gonna get demolished." I'm like, "All right, watch. You gonna see."
I was gonna
Now,
split it. I was gonna
I
split
always
the
put money.
fifty.
I always put money on the just off GP.
We
But
got Teach up on the panel. What's going on, Teach? What's your 2 cents about the conversation?
Yo, yo, what's going on, Two Cents?
What
Salute
up?
to the
What up?
panel.
What's the word, bro?
What's
So
going
I
on, bro?
just want to talk about the topics briefly. So for me, I didn't really enjoy the Regis fight. Like I felt both fighters seemed off in terms of awareness, and I've seen it perform better than this. Most rounds to me felt unclear, except for when each guy got knocked down. Regis hasn't looked the same since the Zepeda fight, in my opinion. And honestly, if it weren't for the KO in that fight, I had Zepeda up because he kept pretty much sniping Regis the whole night with that jab. Um, as for Devin Haney, uh, to me, Regis was already washed. So
Definitely
I
super
just
wash.
yeah, I don't agree with what
Yeah,
Devin had to say about that. Um, and as for what Regis should do now, that depends on him. I'm not calling the guy. I'm not calling for him to retire. That's his business. If he feels he wants to do bare knuckle, good luck with that. If he feels he wants to continue boxing, good luck with that. I was watching an interview earlier. He just saying that if he's gonna come back to boxing, he most likely want to do it at 147. So if he does, yeah, don't be surprised if it's at 147.
that's
He
what you
said,
said. That's what teach. My bad. I don't mean to cut you off,
Mhm.
but you said that's what Regis said. He want to go to 147.
Yeah, it's on a stream. I mean, it's on a video. And I
Yeah,
could
that's gonna
post
be
it in the chat
tough.
later on. Yeah,
I
it's
well,
one of
leave
those
that alone.
UK channels he
You
was
gotta stay
on.
away far away from 147.
I don't
yeah,
Yeah,
think
that's
he's
what
but
I
gonna
was
do
gonna
bare knuckle.
say.
He just talking.
but
He probably
yeah,
was
but
concussed. Honestly,
Oh,
yeah,
unless they do good matchmaking. That's the
I
only
thought he
reason
was
why I
going
can
to
see.
MMA.
he just don't
well,
know
he
what he want
said,
to do.
yeah, he doesn't know what he want to do pretty much because he said pretty much on that same video he was like, he was feeling very emotional, so he doesn't know what he really wants to do. Today he could say he doesn't want to box, and then next week he changes his mind. So he was very unsure about his whole circumstances right now. But he said that he really wants to try bare knuckle.
I don't think he should
But
do that because they're not getting paid like that, bro. And I
yeah,
think
but
Conor
don't be
McGregor runs
surprised.
bare knuckle. I think he's the old bare knuckle. You know, they paying their fighters peanuts. I don't think he want to do that.
Yeah, but don't
You're
be
gonna go home
surprised if
making
he come.
500,000 to $1 million to go fight for $30,000, and then they probably get your retina broken. He's not doing that. I don't think he's gonna do
We'll
Yeah,
that.
they
see,
getting
we'll
their
see.
asses whooped in that bare knuckle. They ain't playing no game.
He gonna get his
But
ass.
one,
I think he'll do good, but it's just not worth the. It's not financially feasible for him, in my opinion.
and the other guy did good when he went to bare knuckle, right? The
Who
dude
that?
who fought Canelo a while back ago. The black dude who fought Canelo, I forgot his name.
Oh, you talking about Trout?
Yeah, Trout.
It might be Trout. 'Cause somebody else did it too.
He,
Some dude named Ish. He was the IBF champion. Got knocked out a couple
yeah.
times. Yeah,
I
but
think
the pay
Trout
not worth it though, in my opinion.
I think Trout won his fights when he was in bare knuckles.
Of
You can
course he
correct
did.
me if I'm
He
wrong there.
blasted the dude. Come on, he's a professional
Yeah, so
boxer.
I mean Regis could do it possibly. Like he's a good boxer, right? Not a good boxer, but he's going to be a better boxer than who's going to
I
be in
mean, he
front
could
of
get a
him.
couple of more gatekeep fights and get a
Yes.
2 or 3 more
But
checks.
yeah, if he comes back to if he's still in boxing, 147 looks like it's going to be the move. And
I don't think he can go
then
to 147, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
his
like an
He
favorite guy.
NBA
probably got
player
a
said, "Nah, I'm
chemo.
about to leave
But
NBA and just join the G League."
yeah,
Basically,
but
We
I'm not
got
gonna lie.
flyer
I wanna
frequency on the panel,
Shout out
ladies
to
and
shout
gentlemen. We
out to
got flyer
Frequent.
frequency on the panel. What's going on,
What's up,
flyer
Frequent?
frequency?
Salute, y'all. What's going
I'll
on?
continue after frequency. I wanted to say something else.
Go ahead, teach, finish up,
So
and then
yeah.
frequency you
In
got next.
terms of um pretty much in terms of the promoters, man, um it's it's pretty much all agenda based boxing topics, right? This is what all this is stemming from, like the loyalty of a specific fighter, a promoter, or a network. And then when you have fans like adopting these narratives, I mean, it leads them to support or criticize fighters, um, and promoters based on loyalty.
Boxing hackers
So
say you need to hold on, teach. Boxing hackers say you need to connect your microphone or it won't let me put you on the stage. Go ahead.
yeah, so that's where all this comes from. So when you have like a fighter like Spence who people hate, they're not gonna like PBC. When you have people who hate Al Heyman, they're not gonna like PBC. Obviously, the same with Tank. When you don't like Tank, you're not gonna like the PBC. So, and the thing is like social media, like it amplify. Also, the same thing with Eddie Hearn, right? If you don't like him, you're not gonna like Matchroom and so on, etc. So all this, like social media, just amplifies like these rivalry and like creates like an echo chamber with this stuff. And then you just hear all these agenda-based topics. And I mean, what I want for me, what I would like fans to do, or the fans of the sport, or the people who are actually listening to um, people who are on various topics, on various panels. I think they should like follow multiple sources, like see who's talking about what, right? You just gotta focus on like the fighters and not the promoters. You gotta think like critically for yourself, so you could discern like a lot of things. Um, do what you do on KO's channel, like engage in like good debates. You gotta support fair matchups when it comes to these boxing, right? And just appreciate the sport as a whole. If you do these things, I mean, I don't think it's gonna lead you astray, right? It's gonna help you think more clearly about the sport, about the promoters, about the boxers. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on mute. Can y'all hear me? Shout out to teaching the building. Oh, Mr. Greg and NHA. I see y'all in the back. We got Boxing Hacker to the panel. We got NHA back up, and we got Gregory Quarter Bomb in the building.
What's the word? Fred.
Salute, y'all.
Hello, G.
Hey, salute everyone here. How's everyone doing?
Salute. Boxing Hacker, what's good?
Salute,
All right, we
Everybody,
guys.
got Flyer Frequency. Then we gonna let Boxing Hacker go. Then we got Mr. Greg. Flyer Frequency. What's your 2 cents for the show? Oh, hold on. We got VA Money Group just added to the panel. What's going on, VA?
Salute.
All right, so listen up. Here we go. This is the order we going in. We got Flyer Frequency. Then we got Boxing Hacker. Then we got Mr. Greg, and then we got VA Money Group.
Yeah, I think Devin Haney exposed Regis' bad feet. You know, Regis got
I think
horrible
Gorilla
feet.
did. But go ahead, bro. My fault.
Or maybe somebody did. The worst I saw him done was Devin Haney as far as his feet. You know, that was the first time I saw that he, showed he looked horrible on his feet. And so, I was looking at this fight to see if, he was going to do better. It started out like he was going to do better, but then, Catterall just started boxing him, and exposing his bad feet. He got horrible feet.
You know, he was running after him and doing all types of crazy stuff. He missed the he missed the dragon punch and fell down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? He was like his feet was on display, you know, for being horrible. You know, how you fall down from missing a punch, you know, and how you throw a punch that hard
I
at
ain't gonna lie, he
somebody
might have been
anyhow and miss
concussed
that
at that
bad.
point, though. He might have been concussed a little bit at that point.
No,
That was
at
two
that
hard
time,
knockdowns, bro.
I
That
thought
left
that
his
was
flesh on
before the
100%.
knockdown.
Nah, that was after. That was
That
after
was
he started
after.
like, yeah, he started like, you know, getting like kind of like, you know, how, like when people get desperate when they feel like they down on the scorecards. And
The
Catterall did like
chasing
some
and stuff.
spin move, and then I'm like, damn, this dude done fell. Everybody was laughing in the chat, like, damn, Regis.
Yeah, I thought that was before. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I
Nah, that was
thought
that was
after
after
that,
Brody, for
that's
sure.
when he got laid out. You know, I was like, come on, man, you looking horrible out there. As for what I heard, somebody, I don't know if that was Teach who said that. That Regis was talking about going to 147. I think that's a horrible decision for him. You know, he's not going to beat nobody up at 147. You
He
know,
probably can't make 140 no more.
Nah, he definitely can't make. He's
he
in a weird situation, basically.
That's
he
probably
need to
why he
make
looking like that
retirement.
too. He probably drained.
He need to make retirement. That's what he need to make because his feet ain't gonna get no. Well, I'm not gonna say his feet can get better, but he need to work on his feet, man. His feet, like, is what the problem is. I don't think it's the hydration or nothing like that.
He
Um,
don't need to retire. He could be a gatekeeper.
People just gonna outbox him, man. People just gonna box him. And expose him. Not really being able to get his feet right. He get caught a lot by being in the wrong position or out of position with his feet, with his footing. That first knockdown. Uh, yeah, man. I just think that Regis, it's probably time for him to hang him up, man. For him to
Okay.
retire.
Okay.
He
Okay.
might be
Okay.
able to go to bare knuckle or something like that, or MMA. But that's
We'll
my two
see.
cents right there.
All right, boxing hacker, what you got?
Hey, salute y'all, salute. So when it comes to like the Regis versus Carroll fight, I think Regis was never a great boxer like that, to be honest with you. I think he was always a puncher / brawler type fighter, I never saw him as a person who ever had like great footwork or like great technique. To me, he always had like a horrific jab. Like he throws a jab way off distance for some weird reason. And his footwork was never really there. But it's not to say he was not a good fighter. I mean, at the end of the day, like
Nah, Regis was a good fighter, bro.
yeah, he was a good fighter,
He was a good
definitely.
fighter.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he was a 2-time champion,
Exactly.
and he went toe Josh Taylor. But I just think, at the end of the day, like the people that he lost to, they were just the better fighter. I don't think it had anything to do with him being off. That's just him. I think Devin was better. I think Catterall was just was better.
All right, so
As
this is
far as
my take on that. My fault, Hacker. Go ahead, my fault.
yeah, but so like as far as if Devin spoiled him or not, I don't think so. I don't think Devin spoiled him at all. I think that's just who he is. And I think vice versa. I don't think him losing to Catterall affected the Devin Haney win either. I think at the end of the day, like you're looking at a guy who's a 2-time champion, but he has shortcomings based on his style. So if people can like take advantage of it, they will. So like Pitbull. Pitbull is a good fighter, but if you can take advantage of his style, you will. But go ahead. What were you about to say, Big
All
Spring?
right, so what I was gonna say is just addressing Teach's point about him going up 147. I think that's cap. Even though I think he has the power, I just feel like he doesn't have the physical advantages and the tools to be successful. Like he has like a 66 arm reach.
He too
Very
small.
He's too small. Like he has the power, but he just doesn't have the advantages. Like if you look at someone like Giovanni Santalan, he's like the same height as Regis, but his reach is like 73. You got guys like Brian Oman up there, Kyle Velasquez, Barrios, Boots. So I don't think that's the smart idea on his behalf. And the other thing I was gonna say is not to be, because Frequent is on the panel, not to be taking shots at the Haney coat, but I just think it's corny, like for people to run with the narrative that he ruined Regis, and that's just cap. That's not what happened. If you look at Regis, people always say the Josh Taylor fight is what ruined him. That's not what ruined him because Regis went on to have a 6-fight winning streak, I believe, a couple of knockouts sprinkled in there. It's the war with Zepeda that really messed him up. They was going blow for blow, Like his feet is not that good, so he's not able to evade and slip and move the way a Catterall or Shakur would or Haney would. So he's really going toe to toe with someone like Zepeda, who's a very big puncher, very underrated. I think that's where the decline started. Now, the blueprint was put out there by Zorilla. Zorilla's a Puerto Rican. He could switch southpaw, decent pop. He was an Olympian. He exposed Regis's bad feet. I feel like Haney seen that because they went to the fight. They seen that. So I bet I want this fight. You know, Bill's a great ambassador for Haney. He could talk. He's slick. He's charismatic. He made it seem like Regis is this dangerous dude. But when they went to the press conference the day before the fight, he let it out the bag. We just took you because you was an easy fight. We're gonna take that belt and that's it. And that's what Haney said out of his own mouth. Like, you trash. Like, I just took this fight because you were easy win. And I feel like it's the feet that Haney seen. I said, you know what? I could get in out of range, land my power punches, and my fault, I'm walking up a hill. I can land my power punches and get out of range. Now, I bet on Haney for the knockout, and I was mad because I didn't cash out. I took Haney for the knockout in like the first round. The knockout was like plus 800. It went down. I didn't get a chance to cash out. I'm like, damn, he about to finish him. He got the knockdown in the second round, started hurting Regis, but he just went like Catterall. He let off the gas. I think Regis clipped him in like the ninth round, and I think Haney just went on cruise control after that. He didn't want to engage no more. So I feel like it was an easy win for someone like Haney, someone like Shakur, someone like Africa. I think all of those guys beat Regis.
Yeah.
Now, if you got a guy like Pitbull, or you got a guy like Barroso, or even someone like Teofimo that likes to mix it up, things could get tricky because he could punch.
I agree with you.
Let me let Boxing Hacker finish up so we can get VA Money Group and Mr. Greg.
I actually agree with you a lot on that one because I think what people aren't seeing is that Regis' style works well when you have fighters that are sort of like
that exchange with
them. Style or have like they have a style where that's based on their heart or coming forward. I think that's then Regis' style works a lot. But when you have a pure boxer or somebody that's a mover, I think that's going to cause issues for Regis down the line. You know
exactly.
Yeah,
see, that's bad matchmaking. Why would you
that's
put
what it is. It's a style thing
back to back? Come on.
Yes, it's really just a style thing for Regis. Regis will look great against fighters who just come toe to toe.
Put him in there with Teofimo. He might clip Teofimo, in my opinion.
He might, yeah.
Because you seen how Catterall was moving when he got. I thought he was gonna stop Catterall. I'm like, oh shit. Catterall started
Big
moving
Supreme,
funny.
But Big Supreme, what fight was you watching? I never saw Regis clip Haney. He barely even touched him.
Hold up, y'all.
He
Hold
lost
up.
every
Let
round.
me get VA Money Group in here. VA Money Group, what's going on? What's your 2 cents for the show?
I ain't gonna lie, I'll find it and put it in.
No, I agree with everything Big Supreme said. He actually said a lot of what I was trying to say. So I really got much to say. And I agree, like Regis looked like he was about to stop Catterall late. I think prime Regis would have beat Catterall easy. Like Catterall, for me, he's not that impressive. He doesn't have anything that he does great. He's really good, but he's not impressive for me.
What do you think about what Big Supreme said about, he possibly looked like at one point he might have been doing something and now he looked like he stopped? I know you kind of use that type of knowledge when you're making your bets and stuff.
What do you mean?
Asking me or VA Money Group?
I was asking VA Money Group what he thought about what you said about how maybe Regis was taking some at one point and then he stopped.
What do you mean? Like
my fault, VA. So basically, I said that Regis might have been using at some point in his career, and now he's not, and it's the reason why he's looking a little regular. But you the perfect person.
You don't think it's because he's 35 years old and been through wars?
That too. That's why I said like I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying that as a fact. I'm just saying,
He was using what, Supreme?
He was on snack. What you mean? He was on the clip.
Oh, not the snack narrative.
Do you know
bro.
for a fact? Do you know for a fact that he's linked to what's the name?
No, he wasn't. He's not saying snack per se. He's just saying.
Now go ahead, VA, because VA is good on this subject.
No, like I didn't see anything different. He just looked old. That's why I said if he was 30, he would have probably even stopped Catterall. But
I think it's just his age.
Yeah.
I think so too. I was just trolling earlier, but I think so too.
All right, Mr. Greg, what you got? What's your 2 cents for the show today?
I kind of think what I'm seeing in the last maybe 2 years, how a lot of these fighters, and the ones we're talking about as well, are undeveloped in certain areas of their fight game.
Right, right.
And that's what's disturbing because it's not just a fighter, because you have to be trained and taught by someone. So there's a void there as well. So what we're seeing is guys who look good until they get exposed. Case in point has been the last two fights we've seen. We saw two fighters who were at the top of the game in terms of how they've been marketing with Devin and with Tim Zoo, could not get out of the way of a left hook. And it wasn't just because of
Man,
the fighting.
you're driving narratives that aren't true though.
Well, you may feel that way, and that's okay.
No,
But
no,
what
no, no,
I,
no, no. That's not how I feel. That's what it is.
no, that's how I feel. So I'm speaking about how I feel, and I'm saying some of these
But it's
fighters
not true. That's all I'm saying.
No, what
you
Mr.
can
Greg said that you
Hold
disagree with
on.
like
Let him
that? Go ahead.
finish. Let him finish. Let
Go
him
Hey,
ahead,
finish.
let
Go
bro.
ahead,
Mr.
Mr.
Greg
Gray.
finish, man. Let
thank
Mr.
you.
Greg finish.
So as I said, you got fighters who should be better developed, because as you go up the ladder, as you go into your career and become better, you should be better in the ring. So the issues that you face, that those two fighters I just named, that should not have been something that continually happened at that
Throughout the
level that
fight.
they were fighting. I
Right.
also see the last two guys. I'm thinking Regis and Colbert, for instance. They're about to go into the area that I think I just sent a poster, where they're going to become stepping stone fighters. Again,
Yeah.
you got to look at how that happens. It's not just because they've had a lot of hard, tough fights, because most of these fighters aren't fighting that often. So that plays a role, good and bad. It maybe preserves you a little bit, but it also interferes with your development because you're not fighting enough. You don't see enough styles as a professional to get better. So we find out, just like you saw yesterday, you saw Regis. Now, Regis has some good qualities, but I also say Regis is not as developed as he should be. But that's what we're looking at right now. And I would also
And,
say is the issue about PBC continuously being put out of business for the last 12, 15 years. That to me seems to be orchestrated. I think when PBC came into the business and they made such a big splash, and they made every promoter out here have to change how they were dealing with their fighters, how they were paying them. I think there's always been a narrative, and it was orchestrated, that PBC, they in debt, they're not paying the fighters, this is happening, that is happening, and that's never changed, because I don't hear, as I think it was Big Supreme was saying, you don't hear certain fighters who had the same issues get treated the same way. And you gotta look at why is that happening. That's not
and,
just by
and
happenstance. That has to be by design.
right.
You know,
And
and for
Mr. Greg, I'm gonna ask you this question too. I'm gonna let you think about it, and then when you finish, I'm gonna let VA Money Group respond as to why he doesn't agree.
uh-huh.
But this is just a thought, guys. But it's starting to be so repetitive and the same thing over and over. It's kind of got me wondering, like, is PBC putting this out there themselves? Because I don't understand how you can continuously keep saying the same things over and over and over, and not one time do these people respond. Do they come out and be like, all right, that's enough? They just let you do this for like a decade, and I don't understand it. And it's the same thing. They running out of money, they can't pay. It's the same exact play every single time, and I just don't understand why more people haven't picked up on this narrative.
You never thought that maybe sometimes like it might be some truth to some of that stuff?
For I mean, if I keep saying for 12 years, year after year after year after year, you're gonna go out of business. Maybe one year I might go out of business, but that don't ever mean there was some truth to it.
I mean, look what they do to Turkey, though. People would say Turkey didn't do this, didn't do that, and Turkey never said none of it. You know, it's the same thing.
No,
Well,
it's
some
not.
No,
people
it's
do.
not the
It's
same thing.
tribalism.
It's not
It
the
is.
same thing
People
though.
always speculate the negative for like a lot of these companies. You know, especially if they don't rock with them.
But for that
Nah,
many
nah, nah, nah.
years,
That's not what it is.
but for that
PBC
many
was
years,
associated.
Go ahead,
Go
VA
ahead.
Money Group.
I was gonna say PBC coming out the gate was associated with a lot of black fighters, and the boxing public in general is against black fighters because they seem like dominant. So you root against them. It's like rooting against the Patriots or just now the Chiefs. You know what I mean? So they're associated with black fighters. So people are, you know, like I be on these Mexican panels. They don't like PBC. They don't like black fighters, and that's just how it is. So they're against the PBC because of that reputation of being for black fighters. You know what I mean? And so like if the zone,
But I'm not even talking about no Mexican people because I don't be on no Mexican panels like that. So I ain't
yeah,
speaking about
that,
no,
but that's what I'm
no
talking about.
Mexican.
Like I'm talking about in general. And then like if you hear black people repeating that those narratives, that's just what black people do. Like that's what I was going to respond to. Oh boy, I don't even know this guy's name. Who
Mr.
said
Greg.
that Devin Haney? Yeah, they said Devin Haney can't get out of the way of a left hook. It's like, dog, get in the ring. Let you get in the ring with a guy who's on steroids.
Mr. Greg is a good dude, bro. We're not gonna do
No.
that.
I'm just talking boxing.
He
I'm just talking
just
boxing.
talking about the. He
I'm just
talking
talking
about.
boxing. I'm just talking
No, he
boxing.
good, Big
I'm
Supreme.
not
He
just.
good.
All right.
I'm just talking boxing. I'm just talking boxing.
Mr. Greg,
All I'm
my
saying is
OG, man.
that.
Be careful.
Yeah. No. That's no. I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just saying that you have to have the experience of somebody swinging at you to understand what you're talking about. When you say get out of the way of a left hook, when you're fighting a guy who he might be explosive, but he's natty, right? Natural, no steroids. There's gonna be a tell on the punch. This has got to be because your power is generated from your feet, from your legs. So you can't just wing it and then it'd be powerful. That's an arm punch.
But hold on. Ryan literally has a ghost punch. Like he literally has a ghost punch. We've seen it in multiple different fights.
Yeah, can I add on that real quick about
I'm saying
hold on, let him
I'm
finish.
saying.
Hold on.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Steroids increase greatly, exponentially. It increases explosiveness. So you can have a guy that if he's on steroids, he can just whip out the hook. And you're not going to even see, there's not going to be like a twitch. There's not going to be him sinking his hips into the punch. Nothing. It just comes. And you can't get out of the way of that. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell people.
How do you tell when that's based off
What the fuck are you
steroids?
talking about? There's no get out of the way of the left hook.
But hold on.
Hold
So
on,
how can you
hold on.
tell? How can you verify that that's based off of steroids or that's
Yeah,
just his natural talent when he's literally had that hook his whole career? That's exactly what he's known for.
I ain't gonna
That's
lie.
pretty
I
much the
agree with
only
BA.
weapon he has.
Can
I agree
I
with you,
say
BA.
can I say this with Tim Zoo, right? We're gonna look at what, because people sometimes I'll be wondering, why people, I think the people actually just believe these narratives and stuff like that. Like Tim Zoo was doing good, but Tim Zoo got caught with a good shot. When you get caught with a good shot, now your thinking is very important. Like the mode that you get in.
Yeah, he got no
He
IQ.
didn't. Yeah, he was walking towards the person that just hurt him and put him down. I think that was his mistake right there. Not that he can't get out of the way of a left hook. So you telling me all
I ain't
these
gonna lie. I
fights
don't
Tim
think he
Zoo
could get out
had,
the way
he
of left
wasn't
hook, bro.
able to stop the left hook.
But I think
All of
that's
these
the
fights
point
that he had, Devin Haney, having over the 30 fights that he had, or whatever, however many fights he had, he can't get out of the way of a left hook. Like, it
and
don't
let
make
me
sense what
answer
some
you.
people saying.
But hold on. Let me answer you, Flyer Frequency, and why I could say I'm not saying he can't get out of the way of a left hook. Why he would have trouble getting out of the way of that left hook because he hasn't come up against people. He hadn't been up against people without having the reach advantage. So he
That's a
wasn't
fact.
used to not being able to just step out real quick or lean out of your range. That I could punch at you and you can't hit me normally because I got the reach
Exactly.
advantage and you shorter than me. But now I got somebody. I think Ryan had the reach advantage and you're just as big and just as tall as me.
Exactly.
So I'm not expecting this. And what I've been doing is not working because one, you're the fastest, hardest puncher I've ever fought in my entire career. And you're my same size.
No,
So
2 cents. Listen, that's not that. When people say stuff like that, it make me think that they don't know boxing when they say things like "get out of the
Freaky,
way of a
let me
left
say
hook."
one thing.
Look, the
And I'm gonna
answer.
fade in the
Let
background
me
real
finish
quick.
this, and then you can say that. The answer to Ryan's left hook was not getting out of the way of it. He just had to talk on the phone. All you have to do is keep your hand up, and that'll take that away. He just didn't do that.
But
It
I
ain't
don't
how
think.
fast he
But
can
hold
get
on,
away from
Flyer
the left hook.
Frequency.
He just had
Let me
That's
say
not
this
true
too.
either. That's
Hold
not
on,
true.
time out.
to
Let me
correct
say
it
this.
would
Let
just
me
be
say this.
to hold your hand up.
Flower, let me say this. I don't think it's just so candid. It's just like get out of the way of the left hook. I think literally what I'm also saying is
make adjustments, do something different, find a way to overcome
But
that.
what's the
You get what I'm saying? It's
fix
deeper
for
than
that?
just getting out of way of a
Let
left
me
hook.
That's
say
where
this.
So
development
what's the
comes
fix
from.
for it though? 2 cents. The fix for it is to keep your guard up on that side, right?
But the
And
That's
fact
what
that
it was.
he
That's
didn't
what
do
from
it though.
he didn't
That's
do
all we
it. Yes, so you can't say, oh, he couldn't get out of the way of left hook.
getting out of the
It's
way
a
of
Let's
left
Supreme.
mistake.
hook.
Let's
It's a
Supreme
that's
get in
what
there.
mistake.
he's
That's not a
saying.
Wait,
That's
Getting
what
wait.
he's
out
It's
of
a
the
saying.
way.
Let
mistake.
me.
It's not. You know what? Because he was saying because I don't know what the brother name was, whatever that Big
VA Money
Supreme was
Corp.
just defending. He said that's his old. He said that's his old head. But you know, it's not. It's not that the fighters are undeveloped. Tim Zoo is not undeveloped. Devin Haney is not undeveloped.
I
They
said
just made
Yes,
that
they are.
underdeveloped
mistake
in
of not
certain
having their
areas.
guard up. That's all for
I
the
Hold
left
said
on.
hook.
I said
Okay, let me
Yo,
let
underdeveloped in
let
Mr.
me.
certain
Let
Greg
me.
go.
areas.
Big
Let me say
Wait,
Supreme.
something
time
real
out,
quick,
time
though.
out. I'm gonna let Mr. Greg go, and then I'm gonna let who just asked to go.
That was me. That was me.
Boxing
I
hacker.
want to go after
I'm
Big
gonna let
Supreme.
Big Supreme and Teach and then Boxing Hacker. Go ahead, Mr. Greg.
I
All right.
said underdeveloped in certain areas of their fight game. Period. Getting out of the way of a punch does not mean you just move. You can only have three ways to defend yourself: move your head, keep your guards up, or move your feet. And when you fail to do all three of those things, you have to ask, why is that happening? It's not just because you got caught with a good shot, because your instincts should be at that level, your instincts as a fighter should be pretty strong. And if you get dropped, you get hurt. That's why you got a corner to remind you, to tell you what you need to do to counteract what's dropping you. This is
What
where
was
I
Tim
think
Zoo's mistake?
I'm
Tim
at,
Zoo's mistake to me
okay.
was he tried to be a tough guy with a guy who was tougher.
Big facts.
Period.
No, I mean
That's the same
after
thing
he
he
got
did.
caught with that shot. After
All
he
right. So
got caught with that shot.
let me
He
say what I was
didn't.
gonna say.
His
Right.
corner didn't know what to tell him either, and neither did he. That's where you
Exactly.
come right back to: do not develop in every areas of the fight game, because he should have known what to do. If he didn't, his corner should have known what to do, and they didn't either.
What you think what he should have did? What
Let
was he
Supreme
supposed to
get in
do?
there, man, so we
Let
can
me let me
rotate
let
this
me say
out.
what I was gonna say. Right. So now, this goes back to matchmaking. Right. When you look at someone like Tim Zoo, he has a big name, and it's really because of his father. Right. The fights
Mhm.
he's been matched against, the fighters, he's had all the advantages. He had the advantage in reach, the advantage in power, aggression. So the people that he's fighting, they're not like Mr. Greg is saying, they're not fine tuning him. He's never been hit and had to think on the fly before. If you look at all of his fights, you look at someone like Terrell Boucher. Terrell Boucher managed to drop Tenzul like the first round, right? After that, he let off the gas. He started moving around the ring, letting him punch him and stuff like that. Tim Tszul's never been in a war with a live dog. Same thing with Haney, right? When you look at all of his fights, you look at Linares, you look at Jojo Diaz, Lomachenko, all of these dudes are smaller, older, coming up from lower weight classes, so Haney has the advantages, right? Now, when he's fighting someone that's the same size as him, who has power, who has reach, who has speed, athleticism, he's not used to dealing with that kind of fighter. Now, I give Haney a lot of credit because he kept getting up and he never sat down and never quit. I give him that. He to me, he's a dog, for sure, 100%. But what Mr. Greg is trying to say, and what I'm trying to say is, he's never been put in these positions where he had
And
to think
Ryan
on the fly.
Garcia was bigger, not the same size.
All right, whatever. That's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, if you look at someone like a Tank, right? He's been fighting guys that are naturally bigger than him his whole career. So when he gets in the ring with someone like a Ryan Garcia, or he gets in the ring with whoever else, a Rolly, he knows what to do. He knows how to use that
I,
person's strengths and
I
turn it into
just
a weakness.
disagree with that, man.
All right,
Tank ain't
that's
never
fine.
fight
When you
nobody
look
on
at
Oscar
look,
ring.
all right, look, I'm gonna address that too. But when you look at Rolly, Rolly was having success with Tank because he rehydrated the 170. I never heard nobody bring that up. Tank never said nothing about that. This dude made the 135 limit and then blew up 35
Because
pounds.
Rolly a bum. He ain't gonna say nothing
All
about
right,
that.
so
He know he a bum.
look, he was having success because he had the reach. And Rolly could punch, so Tank was on the back foot. Now, Rolly don't got no IQ, so Tank lured him into a trap and put him to sleep. That's the difference. When you look at someone like Tim Tszyu, he's never had to fight someone like that, who has the reach advantage, the speed advantage, the power advantage. Not only that, Tim Tszyu, main criticism, he doesn't move his head. That's why I think
Bro, you
5
trying to
rounds
tell
tougher.
me Rolly was a hard fight for Tank? Come on, bro.
Nobody said that.
Rolly
I'm
won
not
a
saying
lot of
that. What I'm
rounds.
trying to say
You
He
is
won some
comparing
rounds.
Tank
the
getting
reach.
past Rolly to something
Listen,
that
bro.
Tim
What I'm
Tszyu
trying to
can't
say
do,
is,
He's
bro.
not comparing. He's
all right,
giving
look,
an
I,
example, a visual of what he's
I'm gonna give you
talking
an
about.
example. What I'm trying to say is, Tank has to think on the fly, regardless if Rolly's a bum or not. He's working with Ishmael, bro. You know who that is. Silas is a world-class trainer. So my thing is he has success with Tank because he was naturally bigger. When Rolly fought someone that was his size that could punch, you seen what the old man did to him. So my thing is these dudes, they're rehydrating and then they're fighting in smaller weight classes, and that's why they look so spectacular. But then when you fight someone that's a live dog, like a Murder Zale, if he fought at 168, Tim Tszyu not used to that kind of wreck. He's not used to that kind of pressure. That's why he folded like that. Now, I respect Tim Tszyu. He went out on the shield, but he didn't have the intelligence, the ring IQ, like Mr. Greg said, or the corner to say, look, this dude is powerful. We just going to box this dude. I don't even think Tim Tszyu know how to do that. Like, when Haney was hurt, he started boxing Ryan. For whatever reason, the fans, his father, somebody put the battery in his back to think he was going to stop Ryan, and that's why the fight looked like that. And that's all I was going
Yeah,
to say, really.
that's
All
what
right,
that's what I was
let's
saying
let
too,
Boxing
though.
Hacker
Supreme.
go. It's Boxing Hacker turn. Go
Okay,
ahead,
go ahead.
Boxing Hacker.
Okay, hey guys. So
Hey,
when it comes to this topic, I think people are like overly exaggerating just a little bit, right? We'll say that Haney has never fought somebody, these stats, right? But you have to remember Haney. Well, he has 31 fights, right? He also spars every day. He also has over 100 amateur fights. People at this level have seen all these styles, and they've went through. When they go to
Amateur fights that
training.
include Ryan Garcia 6 times.
Yes, exactly. So, like people
That's
have
true.
went through. Yeah, so people have gone through all these things,
But he
and
also
they have
fought him with
seen.
Hector, though.
Yeah,
So y'all not gonna let the man talk now?
hold on,
Go
guys.
ahead,
Hold on,
Boxing
hold on,
Hacker.
guys.
Go
So
ahead,
what?
Boxing
So
Hacker.
people have seen all
Now,
these
my fault.
styles.
I'm walking. The service, my
Nah,
fault.
you good. You good, brother. You good. So people have seen all these styles before. I think what people are missing out is that the differences. Like if people actually, I don't know if people like actually like spar or been in the ring, but like there are certain differences that happen. First off, how are you the day of the fight? Like, are you going to be able to react? The speed difference. Like, if we just remove the whole Austrian thing off the table, because we already know that was just an unfair fight, and we just look at it just look at it without the Austrian, we'll say, okay, like the speed difference was Ryan could be, you could be able to block a right hook or left hook, but somebody's speed could be so much faster than you that you're not quick enough to even react to it. There are fighters like that, like you
And
do run
Ryan is one of
faster
them.
fighters that are just way faster than you. Then you have to like overcompensate for either reaction time or being at a distance, so like you can see your punches come to you a little bit slower, and those things also play a factor as well. Ryan's a fast fighter, and so it's not really a question of like, can these people do these things, there's just other factors that come into place. For instance, Regis learns how. I'm sure Regis has been into boxing classes. I'm sure they taught him how to move and all that. It's not to say that he doesn't know how to. He probably just, after a while, he chose the style because that's what worked for him, and then all those habits stuck to him. So it's not that they're not learned, but they just, there's just other factors that just happen to be at play. If I'm to look at what happened to Devin, and like I said, let's just put the place unclear. Austrian was totally unfair. It was an unfair fight. But like, I always thought that one big thing that I thought that might be a mistake, and then it may or may not be, was like the weight training. Because Ryan looks so explosive. I don't think you should lift weights. Because one thing about weights are heavy. So like Devin and Ryan were going back and forth in the amateurs, but Devin didn't have that muscle mass, so his speed was more. Muscle mass makes you feel faster and stronger, but also throws off your timing, and then it actually makes you a little bit slower at times, depending on how you train with it. So like I think those kind of things are what probably hindered Devin a lot. But like I said, off screen and being able to rehydrate and stuff like that also played a major role. Because one, like, you look at somebody like Ryan who looked like he didn't even cut weight when he walked in the ring, and then versus Devin looked like he just, finally just rehydrated a little bit, So like, I think those things you have to factor in. So it's not just this question of like, oh, he can't block the left hook, he can never block the left hook. Because I guarantee you put Devin Haney against another fighter who's slower than Ryan, he'll block that left hook. That the guy won't even touch him with all the left hook in the world.
but then you have to explain why Devin is now training to block the left hook. because
what?
he hadn't been
You know,
learning it.
Because he wanted to fight Ryan again. That's a no-brainer right there.
Okay, that's great, but you still are training to do something that you should have already been training for in the first place. This is what I'm saying. A lot
So
of today's fighters,
so
when
wait, wait, so when you say that,
they
right?
have gifts in certain areas,
They're
but they
they're not
also
mastering the
benefit.
fundamentals.
They also
So Mr.
benefiting
Greg,
from
when you say
marketing,
that,
but they're not mastering, as Two Cent just said,
That's
the
not a
fundamental.
fundamental. You
so okay,
prepare
wait,
for every
so
fighter
let me know what I
based
can
on a
talk.
let,
fight-by-fight
Okay,
basis,
but hold
bro.
on. It's
hold
NHA
on,
two
hold on,
turn.
let me talk
NHA
to Mr.
two.
Greg real quick. When you
Hold
say
on.
when you
Hold on.
say
Let
that,
Yep.
right?
NHA two. Let me let NHA two go. He haven't got the chance
So
to
when
say
you
nothing.
say
What you got?
about
What's your 2 cents for the show? Go ahead, NHA.
Oh,
oh, okay. All right, go
yeah.
ahead.
So, hey, one of Haney's biggest problems is he actually did more harm to himself than, as far as like, the whole how the whole fight turned out than per se what Ryan did. Because if y'all remember, even after he got clipped in that second round, that was the first time he got clipped. I believe he never really fully recovered, but he still had the wherewithal to actually fight the right fight. In the middle rounds, he was winning convincingly. Fight like he usually fights, pot shots, keep control the distance, tie when you need to. Fight intelligent, but he got into his own head, and I think more importantly, Ryan got into his head during the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because tell him, meet me in the ring, meet me in the middle, like you said you're gonna do. And what did Haney's goofy ass do? He did exactly that. Let me go meet you in the middle and fall into that left hook. Like if you would have fought like you fought during the middle rounds, it would have been my opinion it would have been a different story. We've been talking about he couldn't get away from left hook because he would have been in left hook's range. But
All
that's
right,
what I
all
gotta say
right,
about that.
all right.
Well,
Aunt
Can I say
McQueen. Let
something?
me welcome Aunt McQueen on the panel. What's going on, Aunt McQueen?
What's going on? Two
Aunt McQueen, what's going on, bro?
chilling, man. Living the dream. LIVIN.
All
Man,
right,
That's
all
what's
right,
up,
all
man.
I
right.
think all of y'all dudes are making some really good points.
What's your
Honestly.
2 cents? What you got for the show, Aunt McQueen?
Well, my 2 cents is that it's an amalgam, man. It's a mixture of what everybody said. Um, I thought boxing Hacker made a fantastic point about getting away from the fundamentals. It's not when these guys have a certain amateur pedigree. By the time they turn pro, it's not that they don't know how to do certain things. Like I'd implore everybody, myself included, to occasionally go back and watch some of these guys that we say are quote unquote scrubs or yada yada yada, and look at how they fought as amateurs sometimes. Like I watched Ryan Garcia in the PAL tournament, and the way he fought back then was completely different to how he fights now. The
You
same
think
thing with
so?
Deontay. Yes, if you watch him in the PAL, you see him. He's up on his toes. He's snapping his jab. He's utilizing his legs. He's not just
Yeah, and is
marching
right about
forward,
that.
just trying to wing left hooks. Like he had a completely
But
different
a
style.
lot of that is because the amateurs is completely different. Also,
That could
you
be
get
it
what I'm
too.
saying?
That could be a two
You
cent. But
can't fight. Pro style, amateur style, different, really.
is it really pro style amateur style different?
Yeah,
I
it
think
is. It
so.
is
Yeah,
So
it's
I
a point.
mean,
You're,
when
maybe
you
you're
look
winning
at
off
maybe the
point.
boxing,
point of
yeah,
emphasis made
what
difference. The point of
because
Hey,
emphasis
can,
it's
made
more
can
difference.
you
point
guys let
listen.
Frank
oriented.
finish, man?
so when they say difference, right? What they really are talking about is the difference. Because first off, the number of rounds and the time is less for the amateurs, right? So when you say the style works better for the pro than the amateur, that normally means that in the amateurs you're supposed to be scoring, and in the pros you pick your shot because of the longer rounds and stuff like that. But as far as like styles, there's no like
Nah,
different
it's
subset
different.
styles.
Cause look at
It's
Yeah,
Andy
but
different.
the
Cruz.
way you approach a fight is different, but it's not like the style is different.
Yeah, but
You
Andy
know.
Hey,
Cruz
I
is
The
wanted to hear
style
what
is
Ant got to
different.
say, man.
But anyway, go ahead, Ann McQueen. Go ahead.
But what I
don't
was,
forget Teach too.
you said who?
Teach.
Oh yeah,
Let
yeah,
Teach
my
go
guy
after Ant.
Teach. Shout out to my guy Teach. But yeah, so I also think it's this because I think you made a great point. 2 cents about just like the points of emphasis in a amateur fight versus a professional fight. But what I was noticing was watch a certain guy, another guy. I went back and watched his amateur fights, Deontay Wilder. His footwork was a lot better in the amateurs than it was as a pro. And I think that part of it is just the repetition. I think that when these guys are amateurs, they're being drilled on the fundamentals because there's certain things that you have to adhere to when you first start learning how to do anything. You got to adhere to all of the basics, the rudimentary aspects of whatever it is that you're doing. Because if you don't have that, you don't got nothing else. So I think that a lot of times what happens is what Boxing Hacker just alluded to. You start having success with a certain thing as a professional. Deontay Wilder, as an example, you clipping guys, you knocking them out, and then you start saying things like, well, these guys got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only got to be perfect for 2 seconds. So what the hell do I need to adhere to the basics for? If I can just clip you with one shot and just get you the hell up out of there, and then you just fall into just bad habits. You know, you just fall into bad habits. So I think that happens sometimes. And then the other thing too is oftentimes we just exaggerate the way that fights go. You know, we speak in hyperbole, you know, as fans. Like you go rewatch that fight, every left hook Ryan threw was not landing. You know, the way we talk about that fight, you would have swore Devin Haney was just getting clipped left and right by left hooks when that wasn't the case. And I'll say this: I think that defensively, I think that Dev did a solid job of evading the left hook for the most part. Where I felt like the biggest trouble that he had and what they didn't anticipate was Ryan Garcia being able to time Devin's jab. That's where he got himself in the most trouble. Even when they met in the center of the ring, Devin Haney did the same thing he does in every fight. He threw his damn jab. But what happened was Ryan was prepared to time it. He timed him shooting his jab, and they essentially traded a jab for a left hook. And somebody else made a fantastic point. I think it might have been Frequent. It's like sometimes when you hurt, you just hurt, man. You just hurt. He got caught cold. He got caught early. Sometimes it's difficult to recover, man. It's just difficult. You get caught with a certain shot in a certain spot when it's unexpected, and it can be tricky. As far as what you do after you get hurt, it varies. Some guys, if you're dealing with a guy who can't get after you, then hell, you get on your bike. But if you're dealing with somebody else where they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, sometimes it's best to step into the power. Like what we seen with Floyd Mayweather when he got clipped by Shane Mosley, took a hell of a right hand. He didn't try to skate around on the outside and give Shane the opportunity to hunt him down. He stepped inside, he smothered him, and didn't allow him to get anything off. And he did that until he was able to clear the cobwebs. So
absolutely.
But that's the point I think Mr. Greg is alluding to.
Yeah,
those are the kinds of things that you learn in the gym. Your even if it's happening to you in the fight, it's your corner who's going to have to say, we're going to have to change plan A, go to B. You're getting clipped from the outside. Stay in close. Maybe you're going to have to tie them up for a few rounds until you clear your head.
That's a
Box
fact.
around them, spin them. These are the things that are part of your development. I'm not saying these guys are bums, but I am saying I've seen it most of my life watching boxing and a little bit of time that I've boxed myself. The development of today's fighters.
Not the same.
You'll hear trainers say this. I'm not a trainer, but you'll see trainers say the exact same thing. The brain trust in the corners is not as good as it once was. So the fighters in the ring are also not benefiting from what they should be getting from their corners because they're not being developed.
Yeah, I don't think that you could say they're undeveloped from that because you saw Devin Haney get rocked. He got rocked by Linares, and what did he do? Tie him up until he got the cobwebs out. And what did everybody do? Laugh at him and clown him about it. And so he could have gotten away from it. You can't say that he undeveloped, like he don't know how to do it.
Remember what I'm saying? In some areas. I didn't say he was a totally undeveloped fighter. None of them are totally undeveloped, but they're not getting the benefit of great training and development as fighters our generation before them were. So that's what I'm saying, and that's what I see.
So, Mr. Gray, how do you know? So, for instance, let's say Floyd Mayweather gets caught with a hook, right? Does that mean he never knew how to defend from a hook?
No, it does not mean it.
That's not what he's saying.
You don't keep getting the same thing. Doesn't keep happening to you over and over again.
So,
and you get
Terrence Crawford got caught with 3 right hands.
Now,
Does that mean he does not
comes from a boxing family, and he has great talent. He knew what to do immediately. Shane almost took his head off.
But it happened to him twice in a row, though, bro.
In the same round.
But Mr. Gray, what about Terrence Crawford
anymore?
Mr. Gray, what about Terrence Crawford who got caught by 3 right hands? Does that mean he doesn't?
Listen, man, y'all being contrarian. For
Yeah,
example,
I
like,
hear what they're saying. They don't understand what I'm saying.
now I'm gonna try to make a better
No,
example.
I'm
All right,
trying to
hold
say,
on. We got Tony reviews up on the panel.
What's up, Tony?
what's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing
I'm gonna let
tonight?
you go ahead
All
and
right.
go. Go ahead, Teach. What you
What's
got?
going on, Tony?
Yeah, go ahead, Teach.
Yeah. So I just wanted to address two things. One's the pretty much Big Supreme. So Big Supreme, you got to understand with snack, right? It's not only about the specialized supplements that they provide, right? It's also about their training regimen. And in my opinion, I think more so the boxes that train are using that training regimen and not the supplements. And that's my opinion.
You
I've
no,
I've seen
that is very wrong, Teach. But go
no,
ahead.
That's
I've
crazy.
seen Ryan said that he tried snack, he hated it. I've seen a streamer, Two Cents knows this streamer, Lou. He said he tried snack, he hated it. So
All right, so let me
so
just address Teach.
necessarily, it may not necessarily these boxers may not be using the product itself. They may be just using the training regimen, specialized some strength training, the massages. They
None of
have a
this you
lot of
know for a
regimens
fact.
going
That's
on.
not what's
All of this
going
is
on,
speculation.
Teach.
Also, they get access to like the snack facility, right? So they get to use all these things. And
That's a
then the
front, Teach.
last point I want to make is about pretty much Devin Haney, the topic that you guys are talking on.
Uh-huh.
And what I want to say is Devin Haney is like lost to me. Was a mix of like a flawed game plan and pretty much distraction out the ring, right? So he went in the fight pretty much focusing on knocking Ryan out. So did his father. We all knew what happened outside the ring. All the shenanigans that happened. Ryan missing weight, them going back and forth. We know all this. So this was an emotional fight in my opinion for Devin. I picked Devin to win this fight. I still think Devin is the better boxer. At the same time, you can't count Ryan out and what he has, right?
Yeah, I
So
picked Ryan to win.
I feel if they went into the fight again, I think it would turn out different only if they're not too emotional. Because again, Devin to me is a better boxer than Ryan.
All right, let me
So that from that approach, I feel like they could win a rematch if it happened. In my opinion.
let me say this real quick. And then I'm gonna let Tony reviews go. As far as snack and they just using the training regimen, that's not how that works, Teach. Like Victor
So
Conti
what do
is
you say
never
about
been.
Ryan saying that he hates the supplements?
He probably just hated the supplements.
And so could other boxers. They could just think that way as well and not use it
Let me
and just want
interject
to
this one
there's
promote.
thing.
nothing
Let me
wrong with the
interject.
supplements,
Teach. Let me
guys. Like,
interject this
I
one
mean,
thing.
I
This
think we're
one thing.
over
Let me interject this
exaggerating
one
about the
thing.
supplements as well.
Right. So back in I think it was like 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. Um, Brian Rose fought Carson Jones. Right. Carson Jones is a journeyman welterweight. He moved up to light welterweight to fight Brian Rose. Brian Rose was a contender at light middleweight. He knocked out Brian Rose in the first round. They kind of knew that Carson Jones was on steroids. They drug tested him. They rematched him, drug tested him. Brian Rose beat him. So, I bet Brian Rose to win the first fight by knockout. I knew what was going on. Go and watch those two fights. It's completely different. Everybody is talking about getting out of the way of a left hook. These guys, after a guy gets popped for steroids, that whole conversation disappears. There's no way that you can talk about technique and this and that when a guy is on steroids.
Man, not
Period.
off,
Okay.
man. Like
All
y'all
right,
got
shout out to Mark Q with the $1.99 in the super chat. Shout out to Mark Q. Thank you, fam, for the support to the channel. Tony reviews. What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yeah, we're going to address a lot of this BS I've been sitting back listening to. But first and foremost, Ostrine is not a steroid. It is a SARM. It is a SARM. They're completely different, and they're nowhere
He got
near
popped for
the same.
Nandrolone as well.
No, he didn't.
No, he
did
didn't.
not.
Yes, he did. How we
Hold
even
on, let
know
him
about it,
finish.
y'all?
Let him
Y'all,
finish. Tony Review, go ahead.
Vada, hold on. Nandrolone, Vada came out and said he did not have it in his system.
Who said it? Who said it?
They said
they did not do that, bro. Don't put no false narratives like that out there, bro.
He did not have Nandrolone in the system.
No, that's not what happened.
He didn't come out and say that. They said it was
They said
unconfirmed.
it wasn't enough. They said it wasn't enough to cause concern.
Yeah.
It was unconfirmed, so he didn't get in no trouble for it. It was nothing. Go ahead, Tony.
I'm gonna let you talk. But before
you
you say that,
if you would have had
he didn't.
No.
Before you say, let me just say this.
This is supposed to be my turn to talk.
Let me just say this one thing.
No.
He didn't have Nandrolone in the system. Before you say that, just say that Vada said that Vada said that he didn't have Nandrolone in the system. That's the correct way to say it. Don't say he didn't do it. Say Vada said that he didn't.
That's what I said.
Regardless of the fact, bro, he didn't.
Go ahead, Tony's Reviews. Go ahead. Come on, y'all. Let people
finish. I'm gonna touch on this and then I'm gonna get on to what I was trying to say. If Ryan would have had Nandrolone in his system, they would have popped him for it like they popped him for Ostraine. Being that he had to go to a fucking
no, they didn't. No, they wouldn't.
And Nandrolone wasn't a part of that trial where he got suspended, then he didn't have it. Case closed, done. Because they would have
nailed him. It wasn't enough in his system.
They would have nailed him to the wall if they could have. Furthermore, the writing's been on the wall for Devin Haney for a long fucking time. It has been foreshadowed time and time again. I'm going to go down the timeline. One, the first time he fought a guy around his age, his size, he was losing the jab battle against a B, maybe a C level fighter at best in Santiago. Rewatch the fight. He was losing the jabbing battle to a trash fighter. The first time in a long time he had got in there with a guy his size around his age. Then what do? They put him in there with a midget with Gamboa. Okay, so he fights a midget. Then he gets in there with an inactive Linares. He gets clipped. Once again, Linares is a guy of his same size. Clips him, has him holding on like a baby to his mother for 2 rounds straight after he got clipped. So then you go on and he fights midget after midget after midget. He goes against Jojo Diaz, Kambosos twice, fights Lomachenko, lost that fight in my opinion. He fights Regis Prograis, who is also a midget. So then, once again, coming full circle back to what we got foreshadowed, he gets in there with a young guy like Ryan Garcia, who's his same size, actually smaller, because he was 3 pounds lighter on the night of the fight. I don't care what they weighed in at. When they stepped into the ring, Devin outweighed him by 3 pounds. Go look it up.
That's a lie, man.
It's not a lie. It's true.
2 cents.
Ryan Garcia said, according to Ryan Garcia, it was a lie because Ryan Garcia said something different.
You done, Tony?
No, I'm going to finish up here. Furthermore, you saw a dude with a sus chin who's always been questions around his chin. He got in there with a guy that he lost to 3 times in the amateurs. Well, I'm sorry. The amateurs is tailor-made for fighters like Devin Haney to shine. Power punchers like Ryan Garcia normally don't do as well because you got headgear and you got 12-ounce gloves of protection. If Ryan Garcia could beat him on a point system 3 times, the writing was on the wall. He had his number. There's no way this dude was going to beat him. I don't care about the Austrian. Mind you, he passed 4 drug tests, the last one being 2 weeks before the fight. Then you have Victor Conte coming on a fucking live talking about, I don't care if somebody spiked his toothpaste. He's still responsible for what's in his system.
Don't forget the little brother. Don't forget the little brother.
Which one of them spiked it? His little brother or Victor Conte?
What?
Which one of them got the Oscarine in Ryan's system? His Devin Haney's little brother or Victor Conte? Which one of them?
Matter. At the end of the day, bro, he didn't get suspended for PEDs, bro. It doesn't matter how we look at it.
Yes, he did, bro. Stop that. You're not that slow, bro. Stop it.
You guys over exaggerating.
Devin Haney allegedly. Here's the bottom line.
Y'all better stop drinking that Kool-Aid on the OG channel.
Let Tony land his plane. Go ahead.
So the bottom line is this: Devin Haney allegedly lost a fight in Mexico, and that shit got erased. He lost to Lomachenko and walked away with a win, and then he loses to Ryan Garcia, and once again, magically gets a loss erased. So you know,
trolling, bro.
What loss did he lose in Mexico?
I don't think Devin's that good.
Who did he lose to in Mexico?
Devin got to outweigh you by 30 pounds to beat you.
Who did he allegedly lose to in Mexico? Do you know the fighter?
All right, 2 cents.
What's up,
2
T?
cents.
What you got?
2 cents, Big Supreme. Again, 2 cents. You were gonna pretty much answer my question, right? And again, I'll restate it again.
Okay.
Is it far fetched that boxers associated with snack is not using the supplements? Not every boxer is using the supplements, but they just
If they
with
weren't using
snack.
the supplements, they wouldn't be associated with snack though. Unless
I
I don't
mean,
know. I hear some people say that he just pays them to wear the
right,
T-shirt. Apparently,
right.
Yeah.
So and that's the point I'm trying to make, right? Maybe they're just associated with snack to
But
use
that's all
different things.
speculation, though.
Again,
That's
the training
speculation.
facilities,
but
the
but
training
but when
regimen.
you watch them and you see them doing certain things, it kind of makes you like when I'm watching you and then you rehydrating 30 pounds and your name and you're got a snack T-shirt on. Of course, I'm gonna think you taking the supplements or doing whatever you
So
doing.
every fighter's in snack is doing that though. 2 cents.
And that's all I
No,
wanted
no,
to
they're
know.
not.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of things are being over exaggerated. First off, Austrian, regardless of what people think, it's illegal. It's legal for a reason. We gotta stop this whole narrative that Austrian is only this amount, blah blah blah. No, it's illegal. Austrian also helps you keep muscle when you're rehydrating.
Coughing cold medicine in boxing is
Yeah,
illegal.
Austrian also allows you to keep muscle while you're rehydrating, which is a huge advantage in boxing. Let's not undermine that. Rehydration, yeah, making weight and rehydration is like half the battle in a fight. You know it, right? So be able to
I
keep
mean,
muscle mass.
listen, I hear what you're saying, boxing hacker. My only issue with this argument is like, this ain't Devin Haney, not the only boxer where somebody's came in overweight and didn't cut
Exactly.
all the way down. And some fighters win, some fighters able to lose. Like Andre
Yeah,
Ward has even said it's not that big of a deal. Like that's my
he
only
he
issue
never
with
said it's
this
not that big
argument
of a
is
deal.
that
So
Andre Ward never
that's
said
what I'm saying.
that. Come
He
on
never
now.
said
He
being
did
on
say
TV is
that,
not a
bro.
big deal. It's always a big deal. Like I think that's why I say we're over exaggerating what we're hearing.
what did Andre Ward say?
He didn't say that coming
He
in
just
3 pounds
he just said
overweight
what
wasn't a big
Austrian
deal.
makes
I
you
didn't
What he
weight.
say
say?
those weren't his exact words. I'm just paraphrasing and summing up basically
Yeah,
what he
it was
You're
the
said.
same as what I'm
you're
saying. He
that's
probably
your
took it for the weight
interpretation of
cut.
what he meant when with
Bro,
Yeah.
what he
something
mean,
totally different
bro?
he said.
So
What he
no,
meant to
What he
you.
mean?
Andre Ward, I forget who else said that. It was probably for the weight cut. You know, like and that's why I believe too. Like at the end of the day, like if you're taking something to keep
It don't work like
muscle
that.
mass while you're
It
cutting
don't
weight,
work like
that's a
that.
big advantage, and
It don't work like that.
it does
Dude,
do that.
no,
But
I
anyway,
mean, this is literally
That
my profession.
boxing
I
before.
deal with drugs on a day to day. It's literally my
so,
profession. Like literally, that's my
here's the other
Hold
degree.
thing.
on.
And
What you
wait,
got? What you
before
got?
you
So,
say
so
anything else,
this is
that small
you talking
that
about a
small
drug
amount
that
you
you know
found in
nothing
somebody's
about.
system,
You're
it's
Hold on,
probably
you're
Box.
like
Hold on,
what
Tony. Let boxing hacker finish up, and then we can rebuttal.
and that small amount that they found is still probably residue for what he actually took. Let's just keep that in mind. Like people dose and they sweat it out naturally from working out and stuff. Let's not forget that. You know, so like I think a
Bro,
lot of people
have you took a steroid before, bro?
no, but I mean it's
Okay, so
literally how it works. You
how it
can look
works.
it up yourself. Like
But how do you know how it works?
it's the
Hey,
information's
hey, so then
online.
you tell
That's what
them how it works. Then you tell them how it works.
the information's online. So what I'm saying here is that
oh
we
my
can't
God.
just undermine the fact that he took Austrian as like it was like, oh, it doesn't really matter. If you guys are gonna make the argument, I have no problem with it. But
But
then you need to
nobody was
argue.
even talking
You
about
should argue
Austrian.
with
We was
product.
talking
You
Nobody
should
about
wasn't
argue and say
talking
that
about
development.
Austrian is illegal.
Listen,
It's
nobody was
legal.
talking about Austrian. We were talking about the development and fundamentals of a fighter. But somehow this turns into Ryan Garcia
Well,
taking Austrian. It
so
doesn't
I
have
No,
mean,
any.
because
so
I
because somebody
said it.
brought it up
I said
because the
Austrian
Austrian
because
didn't matter. I'm saying Austrian, of course, Austrian matters.
old school
You
said
know,
that he couldn't get out of the way of the left hook. And what I said is when a guy gets popped for steroids and PEDs, you cannot have this conversation because
Okay, so
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
so did Ali Rivera get popped for steroids?
yes, he did.
Okay, so what was the outcome of that fight?
He got
He
his
No,
lost.
it
ass
wasn't.
whooped.
It
That's what
wasn't
happened.
No, but that
steroids.
doesn't mean
It wasn't
anything.
no,
diuretic.
that's not apples
Argument,
to
that's
It
what I'm
apples.
was.
saying.
It
You're
That's not
over
wasn't
apples to
exaggerating.
steroids.
apples.
If
That's
that
not
okay,
apples
let's
to
just say
apples.
somebody loses a fight on steroids. Does that mean the steroids should be legal? Oh, it didn't work. That means it's illegal? Of course not.
No,
I'm
Like,
saying,
what I'm
why does it
saying is
matter?
the steroids ain't the end all be all type of situation. No, it's
But
a skill
it
thing.
creates an advantage.
Man,
And the possibility
okay.
of advantage means you're cheating.
and
So
Like
if I'm a
the
Anybody
C
can go
argument,
back
plus,
and look at that
so
fight.
if I'm
Anybody,
a C plus fighter, I just need to take steroids and then I can
no,
beat
it doesn't
Mayweather.
mean that. But at the end of the day,
but
if you
is
take
Ryan Garcia
steroids,
a
you're
C plus
illegal.
fighter? He won
So
like 6
what are
national
we saying here?
championships.
Are
Like,
any
what are
of
we
you willing
talking
to
about?
say that Austrian should be legal? How many people here?
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying none
okay,
of
if you're
that.
not
I'm
willing to
just
say, then you know
asking.
it's illegal for a reason.
bro,
If you're
we
not willing
saying
to
that
say
it
it's
don't make the
illegal,
skill, it
then
don't make your skills better,
Hold
bro.
on, can I
I
cook for a
are you
second?
willing to
Yo,
say the
Pay the
body
because
of
full,
the
pay
man?
the
I gotta
full,
get
Who
off
is
in
pay,
a
that?
pay
minute.
the full. Your
Yes
Who
or
is
listeners
that?
do
no?
not know
Frequent
what you're
flyer?
talking about.
All right,
let's
hold
be
on,
real.
Frequent Flyer. Let's let
Let's
Frequent
keep it
Flyer
real. Like,
close
how
out.
many
He
people
about
are
to
able
hop
to
off.
say that? How many people
Flyer
are able to say
Frequency, what you
offense
got?
illegal? Oh, go
Flyer
ahead, go ahead.
Frequency, what you got?
I just think that it's so much hate out there for Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? That people tend, they say that, you only good as your last fight, and a lot of that seems like is the way that people are thinking about this. Uh, um Exaggerated though. Devin Haney lost to Ryan Garcia. He got caught with the left hook a bunch of times. Okay, so but now you hear people saying he can't beat nobody. Leave it up to these guys. Everybody ask them, okay, what about Devin Haney versus this person? Oh no, Devin Haney loses that fight. He can't stop a left hook. Like everybody instantly just turns into Ryan Garcia with this super left hook and fast
I haven't
speed.
heard nobody saying that, but go ahead.
I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, Liam Paro knocked Devin Haney out." This person has stopped Devin Haney. Oh no, Devin Haney, Devin Haney can't beat nobody now. All of a sudden, and then just and then it's,
Like this
hold
shit,
on, let me finish, y'all.
y'all be
And then,
so fucking delusional. Like did
let
y'all
me
Go
finish.
ahead.
really
You
think
can
that?
address all of this after I'm
Hold
done,
on,
bro,
pay
because
the
I gotta
full. Let him
leave.
finish.
Please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so then you got the narrative that Devin Haney and the whole snack thing and him rehydrating to so big, so now he's used to being bigger than these fighters and they can't, as soon as he fights somebody his size or bigger, then he can't cope with it or whatever. But Devin Haney came from 135, moved up to 140 and beat Regis Prograis. And people say, oh yeah, well Devin Haney he rehydrated to 165. But Devin Haney didn't physically impose his weight or anything like that on Regis. Beat him. He just made him look stupid. He beat Regis with speed, not with any kind of physical overpowering or anything like that. He just basically made him look stupid, exposed him for having bad feet. Regis couldn't even hit the man. Now, being heavier than somebody is not going to make you faster than them. But that's the narrative that people like to
So
run
why did
with.
he
Oh,
do it
Devin
then?
Haney
Why
beat
do
him
you think
because
he
he
did it then?
rehydrated. They
But
saying
Why do
he
you
beat
think
it
him
he
because
helps
did
he
it?
you absorb
rehydrated.
punches.
He was too big for Regis.
So
It
why do
helps
you
you
But
think?
he's too
absorb
big
punches
for
as
But
well.
frequent flyer, why
if
do you
he's
think he
too
rehydrated so big then? Like,
if
what do you think? What was
no
the
the
strategy?
what I'm trying to say is no, naturally he rehydrated to that because that's his size. But what I'm saying is people run with the narrative that that's the reason why he beat Regis because he was bigger than him, but he didn't do anything physically,
But
that
nobody
would
thought that
make
he
him.
wasn't gonna beat Regis though. That's why I don't understand why you
No,
saying that.
no, I'm talking about the narrative that people, whenever you bring up Devin Haney versus Regis, everybody always go to he rehydrated to 165 pounds.
He
Is
did.
that not cheating?
He cheated. He cheated Regis. Even down to the narrative that you were saying that you was telling me last panel, you said that people was brought up this narrative or whatever that Devin Haney made Regis sign a
No, I asked a
rehydration.
question. I didn't say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know you. Yeah,
I
I know
asked
you
you a
asked. I know
question.
you asked the question, but it was from something that you heard somebody saying, right? So they
Yeah,
would
that's what I
say, and
heard
this
on
person,
Twitter.
wherever this came from, they were saying that Devin Haney made Regis Prograis sign a rehydration clause and didn't abide to it. And if Regis Prograis looks good in this next fight, then that proves somehow that Devin Haney that this is true. And so that clearly lets you know that a lot of people think that the reason Devin Haney beat Regis was because of his rehydration some kind of way. When he beat that man on speed, his feet was just stupid. And the same thing showed with Catterall. It's out now that Regis had bad feet. And
Been out.
when Regis fought Josh Teller, did anybody think that he had bad feet then? No.
Yes, yes.
A lot of people think that Regis won
They've
that fight.
always said Regis had bad feet though. That's
A
nothing
Everybody
lot of
new.
heard that
people think that
before, bro.
Regis beat Josh Teller. Is that the consensus that a lot of people think that he beat Josh Teller, but they gave it to Josh Teller?
Bro, where are you going with this?
Well,
Because you like
you can't
ramble.
comprehend. You don't comprehend that. I'm
But what's
saying
your
You
that
like
point?
your
a lot of
ramble
people.
though,
What
bro.
I'm saying is a lot of people focus on Devin Haney rehydration and his size, saying that that's why he beat people, but he don't. But then at the same time, you're saying he don't have power. So how is his size making him
I
beat
agree. I
these
agree, Daniel.
guys? It's his speed. It's his speed and how he fights, his boxing ability. It has nothing to do with his weight. But you hear people point to that all the time. I think that this all goes to what I was saying. I just think it's a lot of hate out there for Devin Haney. So people use any kind of angle they can.
Facts.
They
I
use
don't
any
think
kind of
they're
angle they
saying
can grab and
it's
pull
his
on
weight.
to say that that's the reason why he won. And now he's just garbage somehow. He can't beat that. Oh no, he can't beat nobody now because he lost to Ryan Garcia, a guy who had Ostarine in the system and Nandrolone. But the Nandrolone, they dismissed the Nandrolone because it wasn't in the test from the next day. So they probably just caught him cycling off from it.
Man,
And that's all I got to say, man.
Like this shit is
Salute
horrible.
to everybody, Hanos Clan in the
Y'all
building.
so many damn excuses,
We
man.
out.
That shit is sad, bro.
Hanos,
For another
Hanos
grown ass
excuse, bro. I don't
man.
see what the excuse was.
When a nigga get popped for steroids, it's
The
not
thing
an
that's so
excuse.
stupid about all
Hold
of this
on.
is people keep
So
talking about natural cycling out of your system, talking about Ostarine, which isn't even steroid, is a song. They
man,
don't even
bro.
have no fucking idea how these drugs work.
They
Don't even
hear
have any
shit and run with it.
No. Don't even have any idea how your body synthesizes it, how long you have to take it to get an effect from it.
You use the
We
wrong
know
word. Your
2
body
weeks
doesn't
before-
synthesize ostarine.
Oh my fuck! Yes, it does. It goes into your cell receptors, into your
Synthesize
androgen
means to
selective
create.
1 and 2
All
cell
right, whatever.
receptors. What are you talking about?
But I'll tell you,
SARMs,
Hacker,
do you know what
the computer nerd know everything about SARMs.
do you even know what SARM stands for? Do you know what it stands for? Or do you need Google real fast? Because I can tell you.
Hey, break down.
I can tell you off the top of my head. Do you need Google? Because you're trying to argue with me when this.
So are you saying it should be legal? I just want you to make the argument that it's not as long and it should be a legal substance. Let me hear you say that.
The fact of the matter is, we know Ryan Garcia did not have SARMs in his system 2 weeks before the fight because he was tested 4 times the last 4 weeks before the fight, and he passed every single one. 2 weeks out. It wasn't until the day before and the night of he allegedly failed these tests, okay? Now, SARMs, they take at least 2 weeks of you taking it consistently for you to even get any benefit, which means at the bare minimum, none of his training, none of his weight cutting, because Ostarine was pretty much made for AIDS patients and cancer patients. What it's mostly used for is fighting muscle wasting syndrome, which is what you get from HIV and cancer when you're in the latter stages. So yes, it would help you with cutting weight. But the fact that it wasn't can I finish?
Which is why I
use it for performance. Tell us how Ostarine is used for performance. Don't tell us the Google definition.
Can I finish? The fact that it was not in his system 2 weeks out. The fact that it was not in his system 2 weeks out means he would have got zero benefits from it because he hadn't been taking it long enough to get any benefits.
And if you go out and if you go and look at the fight, the nigga was
fighting. Tony, my question is this to you then.
Let me
you believe that them
to
testing the day before was worth it then? Or are you saying it should be not even tested?
Let me respond to Tony. Because listen, what Tony is doing, Tony is using information. What Tony is doing, he's using information that's available on Google. He doesn't understand what the information means or if it can be accurate or not. Right? So when the report came out that Ryan Garcia popped for Nandrolone, that means that he had Nandrolone in his system. Either Nandrolone or the metabolites.
Bro, your body naturally produces Nandrolone, bro.
Like, hold up. Let me tell you, because you don't know what you're talking about, right?
Okay.
So if listen, your body naturally has testosterone. When people pop for testosterone, that's not the testosterone that your body naturally makes. It's called exogenous forms of testosterone. So you'll never pop for endogenous form of any hormone.
Listen. The word you're looking for is called androgynous. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
No. It's called endogenous.
On the internet that you're trying to pronounce because this ain't your profession. It's mine. How you gonna tell me?
All right, so everybody Google the word that he just used. And Google the word that I just used. Androgynous is about steroids. I'm talking about when I say exogenous means coming from outside of the body, and endogenous means coming from inside the body. So your body produces naturally testosterone.
You realize
but you cannot pop
testosterone that you naturally produce and testosterone that you inject are completely different. One's a synthetic lipid, which is what steroids are, and it depends on what cell receptors you're trying to affect.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We're not even talking about that. I'm talking about when you're taking a drug test. When you're taking a drug test, what will return the adverse finding is exogenous hormones. So nandrolone is a derivative of testosterone. When you take nandrolone, you will pop. You won't pop for nandrolone that's made by your system. It won't even pick it up. No drug test ever. You can't Google another situation where a guy is popped for endogenous nandrolone ever.
All right, y'all. Listen. All right, listen. Yeah, y'all come back and meet me back Friday. We will definitely pick back up here in the conversation. But it is 7:30. It's well past the time we're supposed to be off. I stayed on a little later today because I started a little later. I want to thank everybody for joining me on the panel today. Big Supreme, Teach, Boxing Hacker, Mr. Greg, Paid in Full, Toner Reviews, VA Money Group, Aunt McQueen. Who else was up here today? Whoever else joined on here, whoever came in the chat, whoever helped support the channel in the super chat. We got Alan Sostan, we got Gregory Quarterbaum, we got Mark Hugh, all supported today in the super chat. Thank you again. Meet me here again Friday at 6:30. We can definitely pick up and continue this debate on Friday. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Had a good time.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
No closing arguments?
I really want to expound on this because he doesn't even know what he's talking about. I can tell you what nandrolone comes up as on a test. No, it doesn't come up as nandrolone because nandrolone is not what they're testing you for. What they're testing you for is ester 4N 17 beta something 3. I forget. I think it's like OL3 or something.